crucial role in world politics. So it is significant for us not only internationally or globally, but domestically it is something I think it's more than collective. Whilst we may not have had everybody on board, it's collective and everyone will join in the celebration. Charged in the court for a number of issues. I want the public to know that we're not backing down on it. While it's true, we praise them because there's good work done. We also stand ready to look for the other issues. It's not going to be a perfect fix immediate, but it's important to know that some things I think we have going on.
So today, we placed on the floor of the Liberian Senate for this passage an act to create the National Sports Fund of Liberia. This bill seeks to satisfy the question of financial impotency with respect to sports in Liberia, and it says sports as a whole. We are seeking to create a fund that will cater directly to sports development, infrastructure, administration, etc. What actually we are trying to avoid is this issue of Liberia not having money to honor her local national obligations. Liberia not having money to sponsor a game hosted in this country. We have to go to other countries to let them play host for us, only because of money. This, I think, has to stop, and we who are seated at the table, then from that fraternity, should be able to do something to mitigate these situations. It is in this direction that we decided to put this act on the floor that would create money for sports, that will also have its management by sports enthusiasts, sport lovers, sport administrators. This is direct. It's because we don't have the talent.
Who flew the flag of Liberia high on the international stage, all the icons of this democracy we enjoy today, as well as countless enduring heroes who kept our nation.
Security Council gives you the recognition by other states out of over 190 that indeed you may be little, but you play a crucial role in world politics. So it is significant for us not only internationally or globally, but domestically it is something worth planning. I think it's more than collective. While it's true we may not have had everybody on board, it's collective and everyone will join in the celebration.
Very clear. We started to work with the Ministry of Public Works. It brings the markets of homes to the community of Sydney, going all over downtown. We're working with partners abroad, the GAP Fund. We're trying to secure the feasibility studies, technical feasibility funding, so that we can look at how we can clean up that waterway and move out with it, so that waterfront will be clean. It's one of our short-term visions that we have. It's important for people to know. The Monrovia City Police, there's been a number of good work the Monrovia City Police has been doing. There's also been challenges, we know, and we want to tell the police, the public, that whatever complaints are, we're hoping to look into it. We got a number of complaints. We're being looked into, number of them being suspended, a number of people, will be charged in the court for a number of issues. We want the public to know that we're not backing down on it. While it's true, we praise them because there's good work done. We also stand ready to look not going to be a perfect fix immediate, but it's important to know that some things I think we have going on.
So
Of
today,
wasting their labor and resources. Prince said the government of Liberia, through the Star P and Retrap project, supported farmers of the former district multipurpose cooperative to plant 900 hectares of lowland with rice, with a promise that the government will create market for the rice. But Prince said since the harvest, the Agriculture Ministry has since refused to create market for the rice. Prince D. Peters said the harvested rice has become a shelter and food for rats and other animals.
We are looking up to the minister, yeah, because as I speak to you, the rice we planted last year, 900 plus hectares. We have not even sold a bag of rice. Yeah, no aggregators coming, no processors coming to buy from farmers. So all the rice is still stockpiled. When you reach in farmer warehouses and that storage will be very few for the farmers. The rat has eaten almost all the rice from the farmers.
Wow.
Yeah, and the minister came the last time the farmers confronted him as to why up to present the rice has not been bought. And he told the farmer that in fact he's sorry that he was not able to bring people to buy the rice because the person he was depending on, the people was disappointed. Minister, are you killing me? You supported us to play rice and you telling us that you are disappointed that no one to buy the rice. So what do you expect us to do? How do we expect us to go back to the field? Even if the ministry is supporting us to replant the one that we invested in and our resources in our labor in, we need to sell portion of the rest to send our children to school or take other development and projects. But the rest is still stock park. Even if you go to my house now, you see all my rest still park outside because I don't even have place to park my.
He also said,
President has come to Tuzo since America ago. And I think the answer was no. And that speaks volumes. If the answer is indeed no, I guess we have to check the research. But I already told you you're my dad. And you have conducted yourself this entire process as a true father. And I just want to honor you and give you so much respect for you to be here, for you to find it prudent with everything you've already gone through, your travels, going through Jamaica. I mean, it's been exhausting. But here you are, because it means so much to you. And we just want to say thank you, bye-bye. Thank you for everything. You're welcome from the bottom of our hearts. We're grateful. And we're grateful to you, fellow minister. Thank you for all your hard work, your entire team. You guys did a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you. You heard everything. The instruction was given to the chief of staff that the army should proceed with the body to Tucson at least for 2 hours. When they left the stadium, reaching to the bridge, went to Pino Motel. For the teacher going involved, they lied down from the car. We received a call from the superintendent. I said that would be the prudent thing to do. Let them turn around because people want to politicize it. We prepare to die all the one. And that's why President Boaga came to grant them for somebody to die. He came here to give our uncle, our brother, our friend, our father a befitting burial. So every time we can still go there, we are not there today to pay our own tribute. Anytime, any day, we will have that opportunity to go there. March, Decoration Day will still go there. But we will not be the cause for our dear president who decided to do the best thing for we the Crown people, we the people from Tucson, we the immediate family. All of us been handling money, thousands of dollars, millions, but none of us thought about it. Someone else from Lofa and that director brought as a leader. Now that was not in a platform. That when I get elected, I will bury the former two presidents, but because he had feeling for people. So he decided to kill the late president Samuel Doe of the fitting burial. But I'm so sorry, when the family is big, these are the things that can happen. So please, Mr. President, on behalf of the family, my mother and her two sisters, sister from Samuel Doe, one stomach, they are still alive. They are only three beside the cousins. And the children now, with the children. On behalf of all of us, who says sorry for any embarrassment we may cause. Please, when the children planted, these are the things that can happen. Everything that you heard, We are so sorry. Other family people, they decided for people to use them, and other people decided yesterday, if I will not eat Tucson, Mr. President, it's going to be a total disaster. Our communication with the minister and your instruction that you gave that the body should come, that also quiet the entire thing down up to around 2 a.m. Before I said, well, your children lying down in front of the car in Israel, the president cannot do any other thing again. And the courts did and said, verify, yes, the body left the stadium, they were coming, the superintendent said it, so everybody knows that your day your best, that at least, according to our tradition, that other people that will not be able to go to surgery to appear their own tribute in Tucson. But unfortunately, the general of the family from those sides said she will fight the battle. Mr. President, you and your entire cabinet, we say thank you. Thank you. And sorry for any embarrassment our sisters and brothers and the cousins that caused this government. But we know it's part of the time. That's why we decided to renew here last night to get everything under control. And tell God that He listened to some of us. That's why other people wanted. I hope President Baga went to graduate there 40 cents yesterday. No way to bury Samuel Doe. No. Where is the experience? That's why we stay in government for the past 19 years. So we can exhibit that experience, an intelligence that in us. That's why you have now heard some of us talking. But it does not mean that we're not able to express ourselves. But somebody can come and do good for you and you turn it like a party. So, Mr. President, thank you. God may bless you and your entire family, including all your cabinet members. I decided to work with you to call you all the time. How many days, how many times, how many weeks? My cousin, Veronica, Mami Joe, never saw that woman. Accusing of corruption, whereby $1 not even in the budget that time. That's why she turned all the money over to her. Today, Honorable Minister, I'm proud to tell you thank you in front of camera, in front of my family people, that we believe in you, the same way the President believes in you, and you're appointed to be Minister of Education, you have said that your education on the committee. Thank you for your patience. Thank you. I told you when you were on confirmation, I told you that you have my support. Because you and my friends don't look alike. So in front of so I say from now on, you get my vote, I walk out, I'm trying to vote, I get voted. So again, the money that you gave to bury our former president, the 50,000 United States dollars, thank you, it reached the family and he buried them today. Honorable Director of Cabinet, if you are not the president, I will take minutes of all the things I was doing. When I ask you, where are we now? I say, oh, I forgot. Today will not be here. So I say, thank you. The Honorable Ambassador, thank you, Papa. Thank you to everybody. Honorable Deputy Minister for Public Affairs, Mr. Keseli, thank you very much. Thank you. Press, you and your entire media, I say thank you. The family say thank you for your hard work. Honorable Superintendent, thank you too. For me, I've been reading a while. You and no man walking around since they're around with the president. But next time when the president brings out a yellow machine, that's the time. All right. So
be back here again to provide all of the critical analysis and format of our country, giving pieces of advice to political institutions, individuals, and national government as well, because Liberia is the bigger picture above all. But welcome. I'm WEEKIE Brooks this morning. Ambassador Vi is alongside T. Nicholas Barclay controls the camera and sounds on this production this morning. Good morning to all of our treasure motorcyclists and passengers. Good morning to our commercial drivers and passengers. Good morning to our teachers, our doctors, our nurses, our lawmakers, our president, and those across Liberia. We say good morning to all of you. The teller, the money exchanger, those who sell our food from the cook shop, the restaurant, our men and women in arms who sacrifice to make sure that the belly of our country is always protected. Good morning to our hardworking police officer, our military, immigration, EPS, NSA. You name all of the security apparatus. You guys are doing extremely well. There will be challenges. There will be people who will be unethical in all disciplines, as a matter of fact, not excluding journalism as well. There are people who will be unscrupulous, people who will not follow the ethical standard, but these are the beauty of life and the quality of democracy, that we give space to space where we are religiously tolerant and politically tolerant and respect the views and opinion. So on this platform, views and opinions are well respected when the lines are activated. What you do, you speak and speak with civility, and you respect yourself, that you be respected in return. But what supersedes all of what we say has to come with facts. Welcome. We'll take a breather to be right back. This morning promises to be great, stimulative, and very thought-provocative as we walk the walk and talk the talk. And as usual, I have to shit the party about the Marcus. What a fear, what a favor, undiluted truth I say on this platform. Of course, we owe no apologies to anybody because we do not use the three-letter words.
Let me tell you, what we doing here so they follow all. Yeah, they follow all. They follow all. Yeah, they know that you're lawful. Yeah. Let me tell you, what we doing here so they follow all. Yeah, they follow all.
You follow us on Cool Radio Hotline. You follow us on Cool, our YouTube channel, Kate News as well. All of these hotlines. You can follow us and watch. Leave your comments. Share as well. Ask somebody to join you. You want to be a sponsor to this program? We are all arms open, waiting for your person. You can come, we sit down, we discuss business. You want to sponsor the Eid, or you want which one of the segment you think you want to be a part of? We are certainly here waiting on for you to do business as usual with open arms with you as it relates to moving Mama Liberia forward. But welcome this wonderful, wonderful man. You know, we want to be firstly grateful to the Almighty God, inshallah, that we are back again, because you must have the grace, you must have the breath that no man gives you beside the creator of our faith, the Almighty God. And when the time comes, when it's taken away, you're no more. Yes, so you need to give support to the next person as the next person tries to give support to other folks. So I'd like to say many thanks to all of you, as usual, for joining us this wonderful, wonderful morning. And I'm saying good morning. And many thanks to the folks that from Celebration of Hope Church in there. Thank you for the honor, thank you for the gift. Watching 5, you know, sometimes when you're doing some things, you think people not watching, so start watching, and sometimes they take you by surprise. But it's good, and we would like to appreciate that and keep that as something that we treasure for life, and thank to the Almighty God. Yeah, you know, yesterday, my colleague as well, Ambassador Vi, Mam the Pope, he was the one who delivered the sermon at his church. That's great. It was wonderful while he was on the other side. We were in honor on the other side. As a matter of fact, we were on a month ago, but we have not been able to be there. But yet, we still went and we were able to present it to us. So to the entire congregation, the leadership of the church, thank you. We didn't buy, but by the special grace of God, that's how God works, you know, in a mysterious way that you do not understand Him, because man, it's so difficult to have it. But, you know, Liberians, we want to talk about something that usually probably people don't talk about so easily. And governments in the past and the present, have not taken a keen look, probably, but there is some those who headed some of the projects. You know, we as a country, we've been faced with repeated challenges, repeated problems over the period of time. And it's because my research, critically looking, and I hope people who are serving government, serving in strategic area will take the time out to listen. Because I think we have sent a lot of folks out of this country who have gone abroad and have studied, and all have studied already and they're back into the country. Then you get to know that some of these things we need to revisit look at some of these things, do pilot project on it, or observe what are some of these things are applicable to our society, some of the development that we want to see, and all of these things, and so and so and so. So we need to have that. Now, let's picture Liberia. On the issue of sustainability, when we talk about, then we look at what we call sustainable development. It's more like going to be like teaching, but you will capture yourself, what are political party, what are government, what are NGOs. You get to know that we have had some missteps. You get to know that at a particular point in time, we want to have development for our country, but you will notice that at times the development that we orient for will be development that will not be sustained, will be development for a moment, will be development for certain group of people, will be development for certain class, and will compromise the future for the present. So when we are gone, those development that we all fought for, that we can see today, some of the projects, some of the development of our country are all lying in ruins. So we have to change the narrative. We have to change the narratives. And this is why most of the time we always hear government, when a new government in power and they initiate any project, they go to it for the first time, for the first time, for the first time, for the first time. Everywhere you turn, you go from the chancellor-led government, the first time, interim government came for the first time, and Ellen Johnson came for the first time, former President George Weah came for the first time, former President Joseph Boakai, again, we're hearing for the first time. Sustainable development. We need to approach our developmental agenda that we do not compromise the future. And when you're talking about sustainable development, it's an approach to progress. It's an approach to progress that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. They will just come and tap in. But we see some of the things that we have developed over the period of time, and this is giving Liberia heart, and this is taking Liberia backward, and that's why you see we're still struggling at this age in terms of development. The mindset of the leaders, the mindset of a particular class at a particular point in time. When you see people talk America, great America built, those framers of the Constitution, those architects of the development that we see in America and other places around the world, in Africa, in South Africa and other places, though there are some who thought about their own generation, but there were folks who saw the future that could not be compromised because they were not the only people that will be on earth or in those countries, but rather they were going to have families and have kids, and they must meet what they lay. And this is what we'll be confronted with on a daily basis in Liberia. This is what we'll be confronted with in Liberia. You take years back, under the regime of former President Charles Taylor, at the University of Liberia and that of the seat of our legislators, the political hub of Liberia, where most of our key decisions are made as it relates to president nomination and appointment, all of these things, and how laws are passed in this country and take effect. You see the Supreme Court temple justice, and other courts. Looking at the number of students at the University of Liberia at the time and even present, so what the former president and his lieutenant and folks for other parts of government thought, because they were looking at the issue of safety. You had a lot of students from the University of Liberia who would be, going back and forth crossing after classes. You crossing to find vehicle to head to Pinsville or Old Road, Bannerville, and whatever. And you find folks who would just be coming from the Pinsville belt or coming from across, wanting to also cross over to go to the campus. And you have staffers too who were also working at the national legislature, who also will have to take up time to go do the aesthetics. And so they have to put a mental bridge, cross over, that people do not race, where you have commercial vehicles, private vehicles, all other things, government vehicles, so the students can pass or other pedestrians can also use it for easy access, not to come in contact with the traffic or be jammed in the process. But after a period of time, it did not serve the purpose. It was short-lived because there were a lot of other issues that we started having problems with trucks. People started having fear because that was mental. The rust could eat it up because of the kind of material that they use. So after some time, they had to take it down. And that was money was spent for such. It was not sustained and it was compromised because it could not provide any progress for the future. We are still talking about overhead bridges in our country. I listened to the David Public Minister a couple of weeks ago, at one intellectual center where he was speaking. But first time we're about to see overhead bridges that will be constructed very soon, and people were clapping. These are all good things. The sustainability aspect of these things. And you come to think about it, it's the same problem we are having with constructions in our country. We have had governments who are more interested in the mineral than the people who dwell on these sites where the minerals are extracted and taken away from. That's it. Succession of governments in our country. More concerned about one company coming to extract, to mine, to do whatever, to extract resources from our country, then the locals, those who are dwelling at those places, and you see their lives do not change so easily, because most of the time we do not capture them, that you see them as people of major interest that should have a say But the focus on national government and who heads the country and which party at the time. We are seeing that with Monrovia. You see Monrovia right now to have development up and running. It's very difficult because those at the time, generations back, maybe in their minds thought the population of Monrovia will have still been the same. And the development that they saw there could actually serve them. And probably they thought they were going to be around forever. Today, there are a lot of problems in the city of Monrovia. You see our sewage system? Because the population is difficult. So sometimes we need government that will come sit and bring the technocrat on the table, that when you're planning some of these things, it should be sustainable. Because we have seen most of our development compromise the future, and that's why we've been faced with today. Take for instance, our international airport. We've been confronted with the problems, repeated challenges and problems every day at the Barbados International Airport. Almost all of the regimes and after the war had a taste of the problem. But we still not yet been able to solve the problem because that airport can no longer sustain the population of Liberia, even those who are going and coming. We still have one international airport where we always experience this sort of, there's a problem with the runway, there's a problem with electricity, there's a problem with aviation equipment, there's a problem with this, and you know, all of these things that will normally take away lives. We need to look at it. And to the extent it has entered and resonated well into the political landscape of our country, it's into political party. Most of the political parties in Liberia lack the sustainability power. So at the end of the day, they build these political parties around individuals other than building institutions that will last for generations to come. So when you say one person cannot be in the position of, because that person becomes the chief financier of the party, and nobody dare question his or her decision. We turn to schools. Now we were talking advancing government. We turn to schools. There are a lot of public schools in Liberia. We talk about building new schools. Those things are good. But by then, you still, at the time, did not have people probably that could project for the future. Maybe they were around and somebody told them, no, man, thinking that the size of that identical community, the size of that county or district or whatever will remain the same, which is very, 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 very untrue. You take typical example of the Painsville Community High School. The two schools, as a matter of fact. The structures are nice. We did not take advantage of the airspace. Today, you have had kids, more people out of school because of some of these things yesterday that were compromised. And those generations that were not born are now facing the decisions that were made yesterday. How many presidents can afford to have the kids into private schools with the kind of fees? So if we have 3 or 4 stories, you will not take up, but you will be able to absorb a huge number that the private school will even see that they'll be struggling for students as well. Because that development is sustainable. It was for that moment, And for the future, we're all compromising the future. You see people go to America and say, oh yeah, when I saw the Liberty statue, do you know how many years it's been there? And do you know how much money the United States government raised because of the issue of tourists and other people visiting the area and going to other historical areas and making a lot of money? Because they saw it as something that we could make money from. Today, with the exception of the Antoinette Tubman Stadium, the Samokai Sports Complex, which is our major international stadium, you go there, take your time. You still see that to some extent it has lived its usefulness in terms of the pitch, the seating capacity. You see cracks. The ministry is there, those structures here in type with offices there, but come to the stadium itself. The sea breeds have eaten some of the irons and other things, the metals and other things that we gather. Go to the ATS. Even from the outside, you see a lot of cracks on the wall. Sustainability has been Liberia's problem for a long period of time. And when you do these things, you have to take into consideration in balancing the economic side, the social side of it, and the environmental consideration to ensure a healthy planet and a prosperous society for everyone. Some of our development, we do not even take into consideration the environmental side of it. And at times, when the community gets polluted and things start to take place, projects are abandoned, companies are shut down, pack the load overnight and leave. So you need to be talking about this. We got people who have gone abroad, studied developmental study, on policy and all of these things. But we are still struggling to see the impact. Other countries are developing because they are not developing the country for a particular group of people. They are not developing the country for just the moment because you'll be in power for 6 years, so you will put project down that will last for your time being around. And after 6 years, you find out there is no blueprint, there was no exit strategy, there was no plan for sustainability to sustain that people come and go with this year. And if there's any other problem when they come, they can just add up to something. We are seeing some of the challenges now being faced with some of the recreational sites or places that were built under the former President George Weah. There are folks who are now saying that some of these places now seem to be look very unkept. Who managing them? Everybody trying to be targeted. You go there, you see some of the structure already breaking down, the rust, and we always forgetting that we use most of the time taxpayer money and support from our international partners to carry on some of the work, to carry on some of the projects. You cannot have development as a government that will only meet your political needs, your political gain, that you should be seen as the man who did well than the other person. But the project cannot be sustained by the next government, or the project is not doable. then we will have to come back, break it, try to rebuild. And we'll not just talk about expanding or carrying on renovation, but we will start to have discussion about demolition before we start to rebuild. And all of these things are happening because our leaders want to only hear the political side of some of these things. This has been Liberia's problem, even with our past presidents. They build homes that compromise the future of their children. Yeah, we have to be honest with ourselves. You see some of the homes of some of our past presidents compromise the future of the children. They build it only for themselves because back then they could see the maintenance of the homes in the pockets of the poor struggling taxpayer. Today some of the homes are all around. You can see some of them. Just to take on renovation, it can build somebody a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom house. Some of the roofs, you look at the roof and look at what they placed there at the time. The children cannot even maintain it. Probably they thought they were going to live forever. So we have some, because some of these sites today should be used as a tourism site for us. Government goes in contract with some of these families, maintain it, have it properly renovated. Whether it become a guest house, maintain that GSA, or a tourist site, or a place that can be built or properly developed, that when we have other presidents visiting or other international dignitaries in our country, we can launch them there and we can even generate money into government coffers. But those were not the things. It was about, I'm the president today, and I don't think I will ever leave power, so I will build a house that maybe I said 10-bedroom house with 10 bedroom, swimming pool, and you just name all the team. At the end of the day, when you go, some of those places become out for criminals. Some of the places are places today where our less fortunate brothers who are on hard substances find shelter. Some of the places are where people go to release themselves. Some of the places are places where have turned into dump sites that will pollute and affect the community. So we see all of these things. But we don't talk about these things. We always talk about political party, individual. When one person makes a statement, everybody wants to respond. People will go to social media and insult people. But you want to go to Ghana, you come to Ghana, you're explaining the last time you were in Ghana 3 years ago when you went back, where you were before you went there. The Kwame Nkrumah Square, you have seen how you have turned to something different, it developed. You see people going to another place. They're raising billions of dollars from tourism because they know that, look, we are not doing this thing for the present. But most of our development we see today, we did it because certain group of people were in power and they saw the development as a development that should be to their comfort and were not thinking about the future. You think you got the 3-4 story building, PCA, right here in Joestar, or Vocal Mission with the same thing, or even more. You're talking about, do you know how many students, even they are self-supported, that will be able to afford the fees to acquire education? And even besides, some of these schools could be used to provide vocational education for some of the folks who are basic, or even some of the students that will talk about sustainable development an approach to progress that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations. You look at the social aspect, the economic aspect, the environmental aspect. So if you had a man, because you'll be, and that's what brings development. So if you had a man or a student, or you had these students who are there from the 10th grade to the 12th grade, he's in the school. After the normal academic teaching, then you go to the vocational aspect. See somebody who is in 10th grade. Or probably you say we take it for 9th grade. And he starts, after his normal academic training, and he starts the extra hour, he starts to learn carpentry. Somebody's doing electricity, plumbing, interior decoration, welding, carpentry. You just name the rest. You find people who, on tomorrow will be some of the best chefs or, tacticians. Even some of the folks start to learn security science. So if you look at a man graduating from high school, he's coming up prepared with a knowledge to contribute to the country. And that's economic empowerment, and that also will help government to expand the national envelope. Because that man now coming out of school, he's already coming with a knowledge that already prepare him for the rest of his life after 3-4 years studying. You place them into cooperatives. Group of folks who open their own construction firm that people can go from start to finish and they turn the keys over to you. Some of government ministry and agency under construction or facing sewage problem, go and rerun pipes or see how best the sewage system can run properly. Uniforms, the tailors. You under contracts to sew uniform for government schools in terms of, for instance, you say in Painesville, government schools got one set of uniform. You'll find on the other side, you see some of the kids who wear green and white, maroon and white, blue and white, So you find people who are doing the tailoring. That's how other countries are developing. The German people, you see them. They are very technical. The vocational schools are up to standard. That's why here goes the German team had the sport very strong. Look at some of the buildings I'm dying like here. You build 3-4-story building with apartments. No elevator. Sometimes when even people moving to these places to take their things up there is difficult. Sometimes some of the chairs, some of the things will not just easily have chance to pass. So now you got to taking the doors down, then you later for you place it back. Some of you know. So some of our old folks find it hard to climb some of these steps. At the end of the day, you see some of these places abandoned. We need to sustain our development, not for the present, but we need to have development that will be sustainable for generations to come. And those are some of the things that we're solving on today. We have the land space. Nobody should tell you we don't have it. We have the land space. We have the mineral. those things, our leaders compromise these things because it's for them right now. Our leaders will compromise these things only because they think that it's just for the moment, and you don't think on the next generation to come. Who were taught years back that JFK today will be discussed in the form and manner, or what the challenges that that institution being confronted, who have sat in their mind so easily, who have taught that way. With the growing population, JFK can no longer handle the health issues for people who are in Mozzarella alone. Come to think about people who have been referred to them from other legal counties to the JFK. You find people sleeping on the ground who have gone to sometimes want to stay to look after their patients, look after their relatives and loved ones who are sick. You find some of them. Like on Friday, there's a lady who walked here and I met her. She had this photo she showed me. Her husband was robbed of his motorbike, body chopped all into his hand, his palm. You see, almost like a finger, everything apart. He's been at the JFK. She has come for some assistance. And yes, the story. He been on bed for a period of time, reportedly. And because they have not been able to meet the financial bill for his medication, so they have taken him from the bed. According to her, he now sits in the chair and they need to settle the bill. And now they need to settle the bill. So that's how you see some of the things that you see happening, and we wonder why these things are not happening in our neighboring countries. It's because they have people who are not just thinking about themselves. And that's why you see up to this time, people most of the time will doubt that we 5.2. You find some person or we even above, or some people say we less. Because sometimes some of the things that you hear, some of the money that you hear that will come to Liberia, you hear that bro some 50 million grant. That bro got $100 million loan from World Bank, African Development Bank, IMF, and all different projects. And after the duration, you still do not see the money into the projects. Sometimes it's not that they eat the money, though we know the high level of allegation of corruption by our officials in the past and present, but sometimes it's because we underestimate the population or we exaggerate the number. You saw mock-up exercise, 25 million. Today, Liberians still waiting for answers. COVID-19. You saw how many millions of dollars was taken to buy food items for the vulnerable people at a time who could not afford to be out because there was lockdown. Today, people are still asking whether somebody saw the rice, the beans, or the oil. Who knows? What are those things are actually distributed, but because we have underestimated over the period of time our population, the kind of projection we made at times. When we bring some of these things with good intent, it's almost look like a drop in the ocean. So people will assume that you stole. Because the kind of a projection, the kind of a development that we're yearning for, the kind of a projects that we want to undertake, we want to undertake it for the beauty of the heights for today. So we will compromise the future. Look at the number of officers we got to protect lives and property in this country. They cannot. They cannot, because we need to be exact and honest when it comes to the issue of census. That's why we're always asking for government to provide the necessary education and the time that involves, that the people get the education ahead of time, that they can be counted, and it places government in a position when it comes to developmental agenda. She knows how to apportion funding. She knows how to target, looking at the needs and the wants. You will look at the disabled community, you know exactly what can sustain them. You look at the youthful population. Okay, these are in our census, the population of the country. We notice that 40 or 50% or 60% of the population are young people. So we must have development that will sustain them up into the future and do not compromise the next generation. So those things will be there and it will be maintained. Let's look at the old folks. What are some of the structure are we building? Look at the disabled community, where government will place and make it military, whether you like it or not, that once you are constructing your home or you are constructing any public facility, that you will commercialize it, you must have a pathway for the disabled community. People who are physically challenged will have easiest access to that identical structure as well. But see, most of our building in our country today, ministry or agency, yes, you will have places, some of them trying to get up to speed with that. But are they ancient time? We just try to cope with it now. So we deprive some of these people from going to access some of the services that you and myself, because we are physically fit, we deprive them, and sometimes they struggle to even get there. You find every government that comes will strive to say they want to put their own street light. We always want to expand the road. A government will kind of decide to fix their own road and fix it, and not thinking that the population will grow and people will grow up, they will acquire education, or they will have businesses, they will buy vehicles and other automobiles that will be used. So you notice that because of the size of the road, or the road they have, the quality cannot meet the population and the standard, so you start to see cracks on the road. Because the road must be able to withstand some of the weight from trucks and other vehicles that plow these roads. So what you see after a particular period of time, you see traffic congestion, more vehicles. What you see there in whenever the government comes, the government can expand the road, the government can break. Sometimes you do these things and do a calculation for certain number of years, that when you come to power, you don't have to touch it, because there are other competitive needs that we have in our country. There are competing priorities. But every road, everything, road. Everybody wants to face his or her own road when it comes to power. While in other countries, some of the roads that they've been there for hundreds of years, they are only maintaining those roads. Go and see some of the bridges in other countries, been there for years. 3, 4, 5 generations have used it and stay in good shape, because those are sustainable development. They sustain it. And those are development that always there waiting to meet the future. That when the future comes, those people will not compromise it because they are already been compromised, but rather they will join and maintain and pass it on to the next generation. But we are not looking at these things. We're looking at how we can mobilize people to get in the streets. We're looking at how we pin, how we talk about the motorcyclists. You know, you picture them in all such fine manner. Countries are getting developed based on the size of the population and the kind of resources that they have, so they will use it because they are having informed developmental minds. You already know the size of the population. You know the size of the population. And we need to redirect a lot of things. We travel out of Liberia, we go to other countries, we see how things are happening. Look at our country. We stay lacking behind in so many ways with so many things. And we say not thinking about them. And these things will continue to affect the kind of a generation that we want to have tomorrow. Take for instance, Pinsville is the largest city in Liberia, 5 electoral district. With the size of the population. In other countries, you look at such a city, this city will be able to manage your own state budget. Where you find budget for education for the city of Pinsville, budget for security for the city of Pinsville, budget for health for the city of Pinsville, and be managed by the city, where taxes that are collected all will not just enter into the national government covers. And even if the city is remitting a certain amount, the city still will have to hold some of these money that will help run the city, and whatever contribution that comes from central government will all augment the farm march and the developmental agenda of the city. Then you take it around to other cities and other townships as well. You'll find rapid development because money will be there. You know, the bureaucracy, when the money being collected and taken to central government to get it out, it become a whole lot of things again. It become a whole lot of things. You know, just before Ghana held the election, I followed one of the engagement with the current president, John Mahama, with a lot of young people, and he was addressing them for hours, having some exchanges. And he was talking about the issue that, look, Ghana is developing because to some extent, when taxes are collected or not taken to central government. So if you had a district or you had a region, there are money that will always be there because the district must run, or that region must be able to function properly. Then you sustain it. That's how people are developing countries. You can have development only for a particular regime that will last after you're gone, and you see, because to impress the folks, and this is something that most of our people in this country have subscribed to. So the politician or the government of the day usually take advantage of such and place, you know, we have some development ongoing, but you don't see the durability of that identical project. After a particular period of time, you see it start to break down. You see it unkept, nobody to maintain it. The leakages all over, and at the end of the day, they get abandoned. Somebody comes and say, no, we gotta break this thing down. We saw that right at the roundabout at Dubois Junction, where they had a spot. The intent from the city was to make sure that until they can generate money from there, you go there, take some photos, carry the kid there to the ice cream parlor or the house of fun, But when the time came after the regime of former President Ellen, there were folks. The next government came and they saw that from their own perspective, the engineers saw that that place, the structure that was there was not rightly placed there. And it was not the kind of a structure that should have been there. We broke it down. We broke it down because people were, they thought to build it, or they built it for that time, not taking into consideration the city called Paisley and looking at the location. Another new construction going on again. Who knows tomorrow who comes in to say, let me break the one down again. Because this is not the kind of structure that should be here. So we need to look at all of these things. So very shortly we'll go for our sponsor break this morning on this edition of the Morning Ride. Mary McGrath for Life Healing Center International there in Bonats Fine. But and well, on this edition of the Morning Ride, let me see okay. All right, let me say Superintendent Maxwell, good morning to you. Today, your sister Gertrude Reeves of ELRA community, she celebrates her birthday on today, and we come from Mr. Superintendent Maxwell A. Reeves and that of Mrs. Rosalind Reeves. They're all thinking about you, Gertrude Reeves, as you celebrate your birthday on today. So happy birthday to you. You there in ELW community, and it's from your brother, one of Liberia finest police officer. But we go for our sponsor break this morning, so you see, we'll teach you people, it will help a lot of you, because Liberia has to move as a country, as a people. The people have kept you in the dungeon for so long, so your brain stagnated. You don't know what they call sustainability. So you only want to see things while it's doable and you clap. How many times will we go to undo roads that have already been done? How many times? We have seen it almost all of the recent governments we have had since after the Civil War. They will pull roads somewhere from there, they take the road from there. Okay, let's go for our
The people are into selling Mary Maga hot tea medicine all over in Lofa, Nimba, and all of Bon counties. The people finally now settled down in Moserado County. The Mary Maga hot tea medicine here. People in Lofa, people in Bon counties have been buying the Mary Maga hot tea medicine. People with terrible sicknesses, and most of them have been healed and been giving testimony about the Mary Maga hot tea medicine and how good it is. Finally, the people now settled down in Moserado County. Yeah, in Montserrat County here, Monrovia, Liberia. The people, when you go to Bonafide, opposite Makumba, Bendu Tissue Factory, right beyond the block factory, you will see the people office that they Mary Maga hot tea people. They're going to be sending the Mary Maga hot tea to you. And if you want to buy this Mary Maga hot tea medicine, that's small money. The whole week, 7 days dose is just 5,600 LD. If you buy the medicine here, you take all of the dose, my sister, my brother, all of your sicknesses you've been suffering with gonna be cured. This medicine they call Mary Maga hot tea can take away or kill all kinds of sicknesses, and some of the sicknesses that a Mary Maga hot tea medicine can cure are typhoid fever. Every time you're feeling cold in your body, you're feeling sick, infection, stomach complaint. Every day you're complaining with your stomach. You say my stomach hurting, my mom my stomach hurting, my wife my stomach hurting. Even women that cannot see their period, the medicine they call Mary Maga hot tea can solve it. A sexual weakness, you can't do your homework go, you come from working or you go somewhere, you come back home, you can't do your homework go. Your woman tells you say bad limit man, sexual weakness in both men and women. They Mary Maga hot tea, it can cure it. Numbness in the body, eye problem. Every time you complain with your eye, you can't see clear. They Mary Maga hot tea can solve it, it can cure it. Also, every time you complain with your stomach boiling, you can't eat pepper, you can't eat this one. Also, the Mary Maga hot tea can solve it, it can cure it. Rheumatism, back pain. Every time you complain with your back, my back hurting, pain in my back, Mary Maga hot tea medicine can cure it. Diabetes, the sugar problem, this Mary Maga hot tea can cure it. Skin disease and many more. Mary Maga hot tea medicine can cure all these problems. Here are some of the testimonies of people that Mary Maga hot tea medicine has cured, and today they are free and living happily.
I just want to declare God, thank you for what Mary Maga did. Send your key here and start treatment. What was happening to me, I tell God, thank you. It's not happening again.
And what was happening to you?
I'll get sugar, I'll get pressure in my life. I've been taking treatment for 2 good years. The sugar can't finish, the typhoid, pressure, it be giving me hard time. But since I start taking a Mary Maga, I feel God, thank you. Now, when they do my pressure always normal now. The sugar, the way it used to go up, no way. I tell God, thank you. I live in Red in Bonafide, opposite Tissue Factory, the hair office that they play, I'm taking my treatment. I tell God, thank you. My body all right now, my body strong.
Mary Maga is a very good treatment, very, very good supplement. I've been taking it from the 17th, I would say the 17th of April. And from the 17th till now, I have seen a lot of changes in my health.
Okay.
A lot of changes. I always used to experience pain in my chest, my eyesight.
Okay.
I don't used to see that clear, and when I started to take it, and always, what used to happen to me at times, I would just keep going in the bathroom, urinating, sometimes all night. Yeah, sometimes like in the night, that 7 times, I think. But I see a change. Instead of me going 7, I just go like only 1 time. And I sleep very sound.
Jesus.
To admit. Very, very sound.
Wow.
Yes. These are changes I have seen. And I was very, you yourself, you took notice of it. I was very big. I noticed I'm dropping.
Yes.
As I'm taking the supplement, I just keep seeing changes. And I feel freed. I feel free in my system. Yeah. These are some of the experiences I've had since I started taking it. It's a very, very good supplement.
I work for you out there 3 weeks when I came out. Out there, the small sickness, the way it started.
How?
So when I came out, I said, "No, go to my that one." I didn't want to tell you phone. I said, "I'm medicine. I'm gonna play with it."
Oh, didn't they come about Mary Maga baby?
Good. That medicine is very, very good. A woman said she looking for money to come buy everything. But I say I've been taking few, no. Therefore, saying when you sit down for long, a week back, Some of them tell me, but we'll ask the people why when you take it in your friend, they can continue taking it.
Man, take it. The more you take it, it will be more fresh.
When I came for in the bush, and then I was pregnant. All told me I was pregnant. I went to feed Thomas. They did my test, pregnancy. That's all you told me I would give April. But to my surprise, when I went back, they said they didn't see better. I started crying. My sister and I would go, people go, they play. After. So Phoebe. Go Phoebe. Many bit that do me say developing growth. As you bring 22,000 and then 1 pound of blood. Started crying. They say, but they don't cry. I said, I will cry. Teenager, very happy to me. Man call on the fan. My mother, she call on the fan. She said, baby, the people that can be all air and when we go to them. To go far parking there. I look at okay. But one key, I will look the menacing first. I said, I just be drinking menacing. They say that they don't give up. I said, no problem. But when I get money to buy it, then I get money, I get small money will number. Will come buy one to buy. I guess small money will come buy one to buy. One day now, we went back to the hospital. They put the check in, they say, but we not see anything that grow. We only need clean it up. We need to bring your thing in for all cleaning. And what happened? So that was a menacing day for me.
How are you?
Fine.
Please tell me what the medicine actually do for you.
Right now, let me do small, you see. Call me come on today. A call from here all the way on this side now. Majority of the people that know me, they know what I can talk. I'm not prophet. No one is prophet for anything.
Yeah.
But I know what Sunday you go behind me, you see it be a line. The mercy is good. I don't want your risk to him or see the mercy. Let the person be free to buy it. Okay, powerful. The way that you can do the first thing, your arbor.
Okay.
Your arbor is faster to kill your arbor.
All right.
If you can see well, your arbor. My own, I took my own yesterday.
Okay.
Why happy to me? Hey, my people that you try to buy the blessing.
All right.
It's good.
By the grace of God, that God I can praise.
Okay.
Then from there, I praise Marie Manga.
Okay.
Marie Manga, how tea it can work.
Okay.
When you take it the right way, it can work.
Yes.
And I want to encourage people to come from here to the office here to take Marie Manga.
Yes.
Because the pain I had on my side here,
Yes.
it helped it reduce.
Okay.
Marie Manga healthy. I even went to a Lutheran church in Paris.
Okay.
I made them to understand that don't overlook Marie Manga healthy. It can work. Please go there and
I tell God thank you for the Marie Manga company. I was sick, the chunk go out on my neck.
Okay.
I go all around, I was dying. All my people in my system were brown, deep brown. But after I met the Marie Manga people, when I took it in, I started drinking it, rubbing it on the knot that was on my neck. All the brown people that were in my system, everything turned clean. It draw the goa together. And the hacker a boss. Oh, I tell God, thank you. The medicine what you're seeing, so you don't overlook it. It can heal any kind of sickness. I'm so happy today. I tell God, thank you for Marie Manga people.
Thank God.
Your can sickness, diabetes, TB, you want get menstruate, stomach hurting, back pain. Your can when you take it in, you will be. You are tell God, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I tell God, thank you for Marie Manga. I tell God, thank you for Marie Manga.
Okay.
You see the neck? You see? No so.
Okay.
I tell God,
When I was sick, I've been spending money from hospital to hospital for that time. She almost died. I listen for my people and the kid. And when I hear the news over here, I have brought her. Well, I tell God, thank you. She well. And even my auntie, they call Yene. She was saying she was not working good. She was in the same church. And when I told her, people they come here.
Okay.
They need testimony.
All right.
So they blessed me. And that's when we were supposed to play with. Even my mother had testimony because she was not working, she was not talking.
But if you test when people see what I want, maybe every time people go, you come here for the medicine.
Okay.
So the medicine, but they're doing well. My Oma, yeah, she wanna working. Our patient in your house. She wanna come outside, but now she got wash, she go in the bathroom, she pay for sex. She wanna be over asking people.
Well, I was suffering for 7 years, going up and down, no way. When I heard about you, I go to Foya about the medicine from buying this medicine. I'm feeling healthy than the way I was before. So my people who listening to me, the medicine, the good medicine, that make me to be alive today, got the first, second this medicine.
So what kinds of sickness you are suffering from?
Our foot problem.
Foot?
Yes, my foot problem.
Okay. And how long that was working you? You said 7 years, right?
7 years.
Okay, thank you. You are welcome.
I'm well now.
Rush now and buy this medicine, Marie Maga Hot Tea, for some more money. The Marie Maga Hot Tea medicine is sold for $350 Liberian. The whole week, 7 days dose is just 5,600 LD. In Moserado County here, Monrovia, Liberia, the people, when you go to Bonafan, opposite Makumba, Bendu Tissue Factory, right beyond the block factory, you will see the people office that they Marie Maga Hot Tea people. They're going to be sending the Marie Maga Hot Tea to you. For more information, you can call the following numbers: 0777 444 591, 0770 913361, and 0776 369805. And if you want to buy this Marie Maga Hot Tea medicine, that's small money. The whole week, 7 days dose is just 5,600 LD. If you buy the medicine here, you take all of the dose, my sister, my brother, all of your sicknesses you've been suffering with gonna be cured. And so rush now and you will live happily. The people are into selling Marie Maga Hot Tea medicine all over in Lofa, Nimba, and all of Bon counties. The people finally now settled down in Moserado County. The Marie Maga Hot Tea medicine here. People in Lofa, people in Bon counties have been buying the Marie Maga Hot Tea medicine. People with terrible sicknesses, and most of them have been healed and been giving testimony about the Marie Maga Hot Tea medicine and how good it is. Finally, the people now settled down in Moserado County. Yeah, in Moserado County here, Monrovia, Liberia, the people, when you go to Bonafan, opposite Makumba, Bendu Tissue Factory, right beyond the block factory, you will see the people office that they Marie Maga Hot Tea people. They're going to be sending the Marie Maga Hot Tea to you. And if you want to buy this Marie Maga Hot Tea medicine, that's small money. The whole week, 7 days dose is just 5,600 LD. If you buy the medicine here, you take all of the dose, my sister, my brother, all of your sicknesses you've been suffering with gonna be cured. This medicine they call Marie Maga Hot Tea can take away or kill all kinds of sicknesses, and some of the sicknesses that a Marie Maga Hot Tea medicine can kill are typhoid fever. Every time you're feeling cold in your body, you're feeling sick, infection, stomach complaint. Every day you complaining with your stomach. You say my stomach hurting, my mom my stomach hurting, my wife my stomach hurting. Even women that cannot see their period, the medicine they call Marie Maga Hot Tea can solve it. A sexual weakness, you can't do your homework go, you come from working or you go somewhere, you come back home, you can't do your homework go. Your woman tells you say bad limit man. Sexual weakness in both men and women, they Marie Maga Hot Tea, it can cure it. Numbness in the body, eye problem. Every time you complain with your eye, you can't see clear. The Marie Maga Hot Tea can solve it. It can cure it. Also, every time you complain with your stomach boiling, you can't eat pepper, you can't eat this one. Also, the Marie Maga Hot Tea can solve it. It can cure it. Rheumatism, back pain. Every time you complain with your back, my back hurting, pain in my back, Marie Maga Hot Tea medicine can cure it. Diabetes, the sugar problem, this Marie Maga Hot Tea can cure it. Skin disease and many more. Marie Maga Hot Tea medicine can cure all these problems. Here are some of the testimonies of people that Marie Maga Hot Tea medicine has cured, and today they are free and living happily.
I just want to tell God, thank you for what Marie Maga did. Send your key here. I start treatment. What was happening to me, I tell God, thank you. It's not happening again.
And what was happening to you?
I'll get sugar, I'll get pressure in my life. I've been taking treatment for 2 good years. The sugar can't finish, the typhoid, giving me hard time. But say I start taking a marine now, I feel about thank you. Now, when they do my pressure always normal now. The sugar the way it used to go on, no way. I tell about thank you. I live in red in Bonafide, opposite tissue factory, the hair off it and the play, I'm taking my treatment. I tell about thank you. My body all red now, my body strong.
Marimaga is a very good treatment, very, very good supplement. I've been taking it from the 16th, 17th, I would say the 17th of April. And from the 17th till now, I have seen a lot of changes in my health.
Okay.
A lot of changes. I always used to experience pain in my chest, my eyesight.
Okay.
I don't used to see that clear, and when I start to take it, and always, what used to happen to me at times, I would just keep going in the bathroom, urinating, sometimes all night. Yeah, sometimes like in the night, the 7th time, I think. But I see a change. Instead of me going 7, I just go like only 1 time, and I sleep very sound.
Jesus.
To admit, very, very sound.
Wow.
Yes, these are changes I have seen, and I was very. You yourself, you took notice of it. I was very big. I noticed I'm dropping.
Yes.
As I'm taking the supplement, I just keep seeing changes, and I feel freed. I feel free in my system. Yeah. These are some of the experiences I've had since I started taking it. It's a very, very good supplement.
Okay.
My boyfriend, you have been 3 weeks when I came out. I was there, a small sickness, the way it started.
How?
So when I came out, I said, "Me go to my test one." I didn't want telephone. I said, "I'm medicine.
Oh, didn't they come about Marimaga, baby?
Good. That medicine is very, very good. A woman said she will give me money to come buy everything. But I said, I've been taking feeling. No. That's what I'm saying when you sit down for long, a week back. Some of my friends tell me, but go ask people why when you taking it, your friend, they can continue taking it.
Ma, take it. The more you take it, it will be more fresh.
When I came for in the bush, and then I was pregnant. All to me, I was pregnant. I went to Phoebe they did my test, pregnancy. That all you told me I would give April. But to my surprise, when we married, they said they didn't see better. I started crying. My sister and I would go, Phoebe would go, they play. Party. So Phoebe. We go Phoebe. We made a bit that you do me say developing growth. As you bring 22,000 and then 1 pound of blood. Started crying. They say, but they don't cry. I said, I will cry. Teenager, very happy to me. Oh, my call on the fan. My mother, she called on the fan. She said, baby, the people that give you all air and when we go to them. To go far parking there. I look at all okay. But one key, I overlook the medicine first. I said, I just be drinking medicine. They say, but they don't give up. I said, no problem. But when I get money to buy the dose, then I get money, I get small money will run back. Will come buy the one to buy. I get small money will come buy the one to buy. One day now, we went back to the hospital. They put the checking, they say, but we not see anything that grow. We only need clean it up. You need to bring your thing for to clean it. What happened? So that why the medicine take for me.
How are you?
Fine.
Please tell me what the medicine actually do for you.
Right now, let me do small, you see. Call me come out today. A call from here all the way on this side. Majority of the people that know me, they know what I can talk. I'm not prophet. No one is prophet for anything.
Yeah.
But I know what to Sunday you go behind me, you see it be a line. The mercy is good. I don't want your risk to him or see the mercy, let the person be free to buy it. Okay, powerful. The way that you can do the first thing, your arbor.
Okay.
Your arbor is faster to kill your arbor.
All right.
If you can see well, your arbor.
I took my own yesterday.
Okay.
Why happy to me? Hey, my people that you talk about the blessing.
All right.
It's good.
By the grace of God, that God I can praise. Okay. Then from there, I praise Marie Manga. Okay. Marie Manga, hot tea, it can work. Okay. When you take it the right way, it can work. Yes. And I want to encourage people to come to here, to the office here, to take Marie Manga. Yes. Because the pain I had on my side here, yes, it helped it reduce. Okay. Marie Manga hot tea, I even went to a Lutheran church in Paris. Okay. I made them to understand that don't overlook Marie Manga hot tea. Okay. It can work. Okay. Please go there. And
I tell God, thank you for the Marie Manga company. I was sick, the chunk go out on my neck. Okay. I go all around, I was dying. All my people in my system were brown, deep brown. But after I met the Marie Manga people, when I took it in, I started drinking it, rubbing it on the knot that was on my neck. All the brown people that were in my system, everything turned clean. It draw the goa together. And the hacker a boss. Oh, I tell God, thank you. The medicine what you're seeing, so you don't overlook it. It can heal any kind of sickness. I'm so happy today. I tell God, thank you for Marie Manga people. You can sickness, diabetes, TB, you want get menstruate, stomach hurting, back pain. You can when you take it in, you will be. You I tell God, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I tell God, thank you for Marie Manga. I tell God, thank you for Marie Manga.
Okay.
You see the neck? You see? No so.
Okay.
I tell God,
when I was sick, I've been spending money from hospital to hospital, but that time she almost died. I same for my people and the kid. And when I hear the news over here, I have brought her. Well, I tell God, thank you. She well, and even my auntie, they call Yene, she was saying she was not working good. She was in the same church. And when I told her, people come here, gave me testimony.
All right.
So they arrested me. And that's when we were supposed to play with. Even my mother had testimony because she was not working, she was not talking. When they did testimony, people see what I want to do. Every time people when they come here for their medicine. Okay. So their medicine, but they're doing well. My Oma, yeah, she was not working. Our baby in your house. She was not coming outside, but now she got washed, she go in the bathroom, she pay for sex. She was not ever asking people.
Well, I was suffering for 7 years, going up and down, no way. When I heard about you, I go to Foya about the medicine from buying this medicine. I'm feeling healthy than the way I was before. So my people who listening to me, the medicine, the good medicine, that make me to be alive today, God, the first, second, this medicine.
So what kinds of sickness you were suffering from?
Our foot problem.
Foot?
Yes, my foot problem.
Okay. How long that was hamburger you? You said 7 years, right?
7 years.
Okay, thank you. You are welcome.
I'm well now.
Rush now and buy this medicine, Marie Manga hot tea, for small money. The Marie Manga hot tea medicine is sold for $350 Liberian. The whole week, 7 days dose is just 5,600 LD. In Motorado County here, Monrovia, Liberia, the people, when you go to Bonafide, opposite Makumba, Bendu, Tidian, the block factory, you will see the people office that they Marie Manga hot tea people. They're going to be sending the Marie Manga hot tea to you. For more information, you can call the following numbers: 0777 444 591, 0770 913361, and 0776 36 9805. And if you want to buy this Marie Manga hot tea medicine, that's small money. The whole week, 7 days dose is just 5,600 LD. If you buy the medicine here, you take all of the dose, my sister, my brother, all of your sicknesses you've been suffering with gonna be cured. So rush now and you will live happily. The people are into selling Marie Manga hot tea medicine all over in Lofa, Nimba, and all of Bon counties. The people finally now settled down in Motorado County. The Marie Manga hot tea medicine here. People in Lofa, people in Bon counties have
rheumatism, also growth, stroke, low blood pressure. You talk about sexual transmitted diseases, and all of these things, and some of the things that you've been suffering for a period of time. It's a go there, and you will just be one of the persons who will get your hearing and could be one of those who will get testimony monitor.
Good morning and welcome. Matter of fact, Martin Maga is certainly having a stand. There are Liberians who are giving their testimonies about their interactions with Barry Maga. So it's important that you can also try and get there. It will just be one step away from your healing process. And Barry Maga is open in Central Monrovia, Clay and Buchanan Street. That is Camp Johnson with the Clay Street intersection. To be precise, you can gather there. You call this number. You talk with Ms. Patience Weir on 0775-499-549. 0775-499-549. Those of you who are in Central Monrovia, you can get to talk to Ms. Patience Weir, and you will get assistance. Whatever questions you want or concerns will be answered there. For those of you in the Painesville Belt along the Panas Farm area, you can talk to Mr. Prince V. Gray, Senior, on 0776-369-805, 0776-369-805, and 0888-856-776, 0888-856-776. You will talk to Mr. Prince V. Gray. So Barry Maga Healing for Life Center is a Panas Farm and Camp Johnson and Clay Street intersection. So you can make the opportunity to get there and ask all your questions or start a treatment. It's a supplement, as a matter of fact, that clean the body. So over the time, while you are cleaning or drinking the tea, you'll be helped in other areas. Rheumatism, typhoid, low blood pressure, growth, sexually transmitted diseases, and several others like you listening to the out there. So I want to encourage you to try Mary Maga. Mary Maga is our proud sponsor this morning. We are proud to be associated with it.
Sure. You can go there and you will probably thank us later, and you just could be one of those seeing the testimony. Like we were talking on just before we went for our sponsor, and this is a problem we have had in Liberia. And most of the time, when some of these things, and these things are always things that we as a citizen and people should always think about. Even political actors, because it helps save government or wasteful spending. The thing of sustainable development, we have lacking it in a long period of time in our country history. Because you will find one government will carry on some project or we initiate a particular project if time elapsed and he or she could not continue or were never re-elected, you still see it being abandoned, even from the level of our representatives and senators. Some of the projects, some of the things that they campaign on, you hear them talk about clinics, roads, hospitals. Sometimes when they base on some of these things, because these are necessities that people want. People want to have access to farm to market road. People want to have access to better healthcare. People want to have access affordable at a low cost for education for the kids. And business social services must be available and affordable as well. So, but we see that we have had development over the period of time in our country that we fail to sustain because some of the development or development that we just projected and implemented just for the moment at a time. You see a lot of abandoned projects, a lot of abandoned buildings, because most of these things did not fit in the plan for the future. The future at the time, even up to this time, that's on project. You notice that the future being compromised in it. So at the end of the day, when we all go tomorrow, the next generation will be confronted with a lot of problems. Then they start over, while others are continuing and having that status. We have wasted millions of dollars. I was just saying something just before we went for a break. Look at the roundabout at Dubois Junction. We had another structure there before. That money was spent to construct. at the end of the day, another government can say, no, this is not the right structure that should have been here. That's why it's not good to be in a haste when it comes to budget. Because if you put politics into too many things, you will only do it for the eyes. You will only do it because you want to score political goals. And that's why we have seen, and that's what have caused Liberia a whole lot of problems when it comes to development. If people were properly planning, government, properly planning with sustainability, that people, generation and generation will come to sustain and maintain, we will have some of our structures here around.
And government in the process become wasteful.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of money that should have been diverted to other areas.
Because we have a whole lot of competing priorities. That when we get to the next stage, we will not continue to talk about roads. We will not continue. You remember back some years back during the regime of the former president, which I said earlier, some of you people who maybe just coming around, sometimes you sit down and you listen, and you take your political garment off you, and you get the sense, and you look at some of your money, the taxes that you pay, being wasted over the years and still continuing. That the overhead metal bridge that you had at the US, they're crossing over to the Capitol building. That was on a child still. After a period of time, but it was not sustainable. We had to take it down because when we were being constructed, people started having problems because some of the trucks could not pass them. And the pedestrians over there, the fact that they were not used to it, they were not fully educated, took the risk to use the main lane to cross over, either going to the Capitol building or crossing the farm vehicle to head towards Painesville and other parts, or crossing from the Capitol or coming from time to go to the University of Liberia for other schooling activities. So at the end of the day, we have to take it down. And we spend money.
And those projects, like I mentioned earlier on, make government to spend wastefully, whereas there are pressing issues in the country, the welfare, well-being of the people, education, health-wise, are left undone. And some of the projects don't even make any impact in the lives of the people. They just are erected. At the end of the day, it goes to TN again. You begin to ask, what the money, what the purpose? And they spend to erect these structures.
You know,
question.
You know, sometimes some of these things, you know, it's almost like the issue of fighting corruption in Liberia. And this is just the same when it comes to our development. You know, every time you decide to go to fight corruption, and it almost like you're stepping on somebody else's toe. So all of the perceived criminals got people that they belong to, so that their own criminals, so they tend to defend them. They're ready to defend them. Because if you see some of the structures that we got in Liberia and some of the places, you try to wonder what are these structures or the development was done under informed decision that you saw the population, the size of the population, or people who are dwelling in a particular region. You take, for instance, let's look at the Emory Hospital. Did they take into consideration the population of that region, and that it can actually be something that would be useful and beneficiary to the people in that part of Liberia, the region? Because you got to take, not just putting the structure down that will see a farm, but you have to look at as to what it will be able to serve. Because if you have a huge structure with a less population that can, you know, the needs of the medical needs of the people, the welfare, and the structure there or that institution is overstaffed or understaffed, you will still face a lot of problems. The drugs, because the drugs got to be somewhere that will be cooling, it will last for a particular period of time. So if you have the drugs there, and after months, you just maybe you treated 200-300 patients in pretty close to that 3 months, 4 months, we will still be confronted with problems. So when we're doing development, because some of the development are actually good, but if you look at the population, they say 5.2 million. And these are some of the issues, these are some of the factors that people carry on development. You look at the disabled community, you look at the youthful population, when you carry on some development, you have to have that into it. Then you look at the economic side of it. You look at the environmental side of it. But we see, because we got press singer, soon the government said we're going to build one road where everybody clapping. Look at the road and see how many persons are that this road will benefit. If this place is a farming region, or this place is somewhere that people are doing mining, because you can be concerned only of the mineral and you don't take into consideration the people who reside there.
And sometimes, like you mentioned earlier on, in the minds of those actors, they carry on these projects just based upon their thinking at the time they exist for. And at times it's misplaced. At times, after they are tenure, you find that particular project they have erected to be meaningless to the people, because the people were already a part of such a development, they were already a part of such a project. They would never ask them, and this is what the local government had supports, which the government hinges a lot of pillars on, that to decentralize activities into the various counties, that the locals become a part of these things. Then the people decide what they want. It is not central government imposing on them to say, yeah, we're building 50 hand pumps, yeah. But then the other area, they don't need hand pump. They need something else.
You know, sometimes it's always good to sit with the people and just ask for some of the pressing need. You see that there are a lot of priorities on the mind, but you see one that you have to prioritize, because you might just have requests of the same from 2-3 towns or villages in that region that you have gone to see how best you want to have it. Then you see that as something of high priority that the people would need. But if you carry on political development or impose development or quick impact project on people with office abilities, tell it, we come back to demolish them and want to build new ones. Almost all of the government have come. They will have to work on roads again. How many times will we be opening roads? Because everything, you look at LY, the boulevard, and other roads. We had the roads under former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf initially. Later on, they had to say, oh, that the first period, they got everything out of it.
You have to be a part of the development.
So if you look at the development, that will be sustainable. Because you carry on development, that will be sustainable. You make a projection that will say, okay, we're going to do a road that will last off for the next 20, 30, or 50 years. And this is what we're going to do. We will expand the road. We look at the cost attached, settle these people, we do it. But every time another government can, we want to put one stretch of road again, we got to go break houses and pay people. Another government can, we go to the other side, we break houses, we settle people. And we just keep doing these things. So we just hold on, put the technocrats together, look at the future for how many generations that you want to look at, and say, look, come what may, we're going to have full lane so. Let it be here, whoever comes, whoever go, this road going to serve the purpose for a long period of time before any go, because the population will grow. Vehicles, people will grow, people will earn money, they will buy vehicles, they will plow the roads. There are people who will buy motorcycle, people will buy other moving automobile to use. And the number will not just be the same. Because at the end of the day, the road must be able to withstand the weight that she carries, or they carry every single day. But we don't take these things most likely into consideration when we're having some of the construction, some of the projects, and you see right after the buildings or other roads are lying in rims, abandoned, you know, even infrastructure. And we need to start taking advantage of the airspace. Like we said the other day, and I said earlier this morning, that's how people thinking in other countries. PCS now can tell you, PCS can have another 2 or 3 story with the pillar. You bring the technocrats who will assess and raise that building that will not affect the one that already existing there, but will also be a supporting arm to it. And you'll notice that you go to vocal mission, you do the same. What happens that because you want to sustain it, you want While people are in the 9th grade or 10th grade, after the normal academic activity, you see the men going to do carpentry. You see the men doing plumbing. You see the men doing masonry, tailoring. And you just need, you see people doing other things. At the end of the day, by the time the man is graduating from, the man or the woman graduating from high school, he or she coming up with already a set level of education and prepare for the future. So you talking about somebody 3 years doing carpentry in school. And that man comes up, he comes out as a professional carpenter.
We need to have leaders who are far-sighted, who see not just now, but in the future, because our leaders are being accused of this short-term vision, blur sight in terms of crafting policy for the people. They only think about today, they don't think about tomorrow.
It's all boiled around the politics, because, you know, Liberians, we love to hear colorful speeches. We love to hear things that we want to hear. So what happens when the leaders manage to get to power? They do things for the beauty of the eye and not for sustainable time that you will see it, that will be durable. The love for that. You seen what happened now at the Invisible Park. There are reports that, you know, even right now the Ministry of Youth and Sports yet to respond to it, how the park be managed, because a lot of things are already going out of hand there. Some of the things that were there getting damaged by the day. How did they put it there? What are those things were durable? Because if we start to see, and most especially when you're building somewhere around the ocean where you have the sea breeze with salt, what kind of material are we using? Because this is the point. Every time there's a construction, you got to take the environmental aspect into consideration. Which kind of environment are you constructing? Whether the structure relating to the environment can withstand after a period of time, or you will put it there because you think you need to put it there. At the end of the day, it's have some negative impact on the environment, and the people around start to suffer. So we need to have a proper development plan that the next government will have a key priority, because we have seen since from the day of after our crisis in Liberia, when we finally returned to democracy in 2003, 2004, after election, 2005, 2006, we still see almost all of the government that have come to power, we're pretty close to just the same agenda.
Yeah.
We still hear them talk about roads. We still hear them talk about health.
That's why Diana Banks, representing the former president of Liberia, came and said the vision of our leaders is short-sighted.
No, Liberians were on the yes, Liberians were in the numbers at the summer kind of sports complex, and this is why we have always said, and this is the mistake most of the time people have made. You know, when we having some of the occasions, people that we invite, we are never keen to listen when they are giving us pieces of advice or putting some things in our faces. But it will overshadow that we have a bicentennial celebration. You know, coming and people politicize it, and the woman was telling us the problem with Liberia, she said, our leaders are short-sighted. They always do things for themselves. They don't do things long-range plan, things that will last up for a long period of time. One thing we'll always say thank you to Manasali, though the decision we had to take in Liberia for, they had to accept the issue of the former defense ministry that was under construction before the war came to Liberia. So sitting with our partners and looking at saving government of huge sum of cash, where we were renting people private homes, paid a huge sum of money while they live abroad. Government had to pay rental fees. Government had to pay rental fee for some of these structures for years. But when she said, look, she took latches, she was bullied. But at the end of the day, we think that government have been able to save herself of some of the money that she was paying people for using some of the billing ministry or agency. Yeah, today we can look back. The pain was high yesterday, but we think that it's going to take us years, because we have ministry and agency in that place today that do not have to go put the head in government cover to say the year has ended and the family want the money, the kind of installment. So sometimes when we do some of these development, that's how we do it. We do it that whether you're around, you are not around, that we continue with it. Look at our airport. What problem still persists? The challenges stay the same. From Ellington, from Charlestown, light being problem there, people die off. But when Ellen Johnson's Ellington came, the problem was there. Former President Weah came, the problem was there. President Joseph Boakai is currently in, the problem still continue. Because you see, we have not been able to sustain, and even that airport has served us for a long period of time. We need to be grateful and start to, look around and say, where can we put the next one? Just take an example with some of our former presidents in this country. Their homes, they built while serving as president. Because they could see the maintenance of those homes into the poor struggling people who pay in the taxes. So to maintain them was much easier because they were still around. They were president, they were minister. But today they're gone. A lot of our former officials of government, their children cannot even maintain those homes. And at the end of the day, it's causing problem for the environment because the roofs are all dilapidated. And you find, the fungi, the mold all on the wall, and giving some of the community, some of the area, the kind of a bad odor, and inviting criminals where people are going there to use it as bathroom, toilet, and all of these things. So it's having some negative impact on the environment. But how many of us can sit down and think on these things, or we just there to do, I would say. When you see sometimes we have faced with some of the problem, it's because the way people look at Monrovia. In the minds of the people, they thought that place was never, the population was just going to be maybe around 10,000 stay. Now, even up to this time now, you cannot carry on a very, very tough renovation or in Central Monrovia or some kind of development there, because you see all of the structures that are there. See the structure. Almost all of them join. To just break one down, you almost like breaking almost a whole street down or one whole stretch. Look at the sewer system of Monrovia. It cannot even help to withstand the waste that being created every day because of the size of the population there now. So even right now, if we are planning, we have to be planning and looking at in the next 10, 15, 20 years, it could be more. So whatever that we're doing, we can't just do it because we're around for now or because this is our regime. When you leave it, then the next time somebody comes, people will be telling you that the system they inherited, that what they met,
we'll begin to start over.
Then we begin to start over. And look like you came to power, and that's how most of the time people feel that the other president did not do anything. No, most of the presidents, they tried the best, they did what they could do, but people who came before them, decisions that they took, but decisions to suit them. Some of the development they carry on were development only for them, that could match them. So we see today, we are confronted. Look, if we had the kind of sites, the structure, private schools will be having megaphone going in communities and looking for students. You will not have the number of students outside today that are not in school because government will have the structure, government will have the space to absorb as much as she can. But it is not that you got a PCA, student show from where we broadcast. How many students would that a government school take? Even if it went to vaccination, how many students would it take?
And the population keep increasing.
The population keep increasing, and we are building and not taking advantage of the expense that we see. We put out a building that should be able to take more than 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 students. You talk about 2-3 stories, or 200 or 300 classes with offices and all of these things. We can do it. We have the resources, but if you do, we will not get. Look, Liberia can never get developed with the kind of mindset and the way we intend to develop Liberia. Because everybody will come and just break certain things that somebody did because it would not suit them, and they will see it as something that might just expose them that They don't know what they're doing. We're seeing it with the ministry agency. We're seeing it with past government and current government. Every time one government comes to power, you just think that we just from war. You just think we just from war. We just start almost everything over. We do not have a seal learning and hit the ground running smoothly and just, immediately pick up from where somebody left it. We will be faced with, no, the people told all the things, they carried it on. We did not meet this, we did not meet that. Government is not looking for funding. Why are we still having these kind of things? This is not politics. This is Liberia.
It's only because our leaders, the way they think, is being judged by the way they develop or carry on development of the country, which should be looked at very seriously, because we must have their long-term developmental agenda to be carried on, and there are issues that we should also observe that it should be based upon the population to be able to accommodate the people. If we're doing it today and it will not accommodate the population tomorrow, then we have to do it. We have to do another one. So the reason we look at, like for instance, you mentioned to the Roberts International Airport. Since the erection of that airport, we still here waiting and seeing just that airport. No other leader has said for expediency for the next 50 years. Let's start to erect somewhere or find somewhere erect a structure there that can be another very modernized airport that will serve this country, that we don't get to pay.
But you can see that for all indication, that airport has lived its usefulness for a long period of time. We just manage it because we don't have another. That's why you see a whole lot of, every time we get problems,
you go to the summer Carnival Sports Complex, and the only place we get.
And you go there and see that, you still see the need that we need to have something.
At times, the last time I had the county sports meets there, when I see the footage of some of the games, I got a friend in my spirit. I said, this stadium is overcrowded. And with the length of time this stadium has stayed, we should not be over doing things there. The population that we should accept should just be at the level that the weight can accept, because it has lived long. And we are not carrying the kind of proper maintenance on it. So we will be very careful. Are we having plans to find another place where we can be modernized and accommodate larger people that will be fresh, new? It should be the thing of our leaders.
If you look at, if you just sit keenly and look, Liberia staple food, rice, is one of the key areas that we lack sustainability, which is a threat to national security. To the extent, even our importers, to some extent, do not even import rice to the size of the population to take that into consideration. Those who are even bringing petroleum into the country, we say find that we do not sustain the importation that will last off for a certain period of time. We will almost every time be caught up at a particular. We know some of these things are unforeseeable. Will happen, but we have to always have plan that will properly serve us until another group of people or until another supply can come and meet the ones that are already on ground. That's how we have been faced with some of these problems, and you think that and at times we assume that people steal it, because some of the things that these people are entrusted with, the people that they are to serve, at times they will not reach all of, it will not cover all of them. So we perceive that they are all criminals. That's how, because this is the trouble that government will always cause for herself. Because you in power today, you just do things for the time that you're around. So when the next government comes and they confronted with some of the mess or things that you did just for your time, the people will see that government that have taken over from you, a government that is not serious, or just talking all sorts of things while in opposition.
Certainly.
And this is what we have.
And at 9 o'clock we will go for the Central Bank message this morning.
And when we come back, we'll open the lines. But we needed to give you a lengthy discussion on this matter, that some of you will sit. Even this thing go to some of us who are planning to build houses while we got a hand, while we stay alive. But we are planning in it, and we will compromise our children's future in the construction of these houses that when we go tomorrow, they can maintain. They sell it behind you. You build a house because you were president yesterday, your minister, your representative, your senator. Just to roof the house, you no longer a minister, you no longer a senator, you no longer president, just to roof the house will cost you $3,000-4,000 United States dollars that can build you a 2-bedroom house or 3-bedroom house nicely and get some furniture into it. Who wants to, the children will not take such amount of money to go and say, look, we're going to renovate Daddy's house today. We saw the Tubman house in Comforter. Everybody saw that house breaking down. It took the United Nations mission at the time to have the female contingent they had to renovate it to some level where you had an Indian female peacekeeper residing there. Look at the house in the one that the late president built. What can you do today? See to what level it's still not yet finished. And some of these places, government got to go in negotiation with somebody's family. Some of these places can be a tourist site. Some of these places can be, government can take charge, finish it. Government can even earn money from them, turning some of them into international guest houses or presidential palaces where some of our state presidents who are visiting don't always have to sleep right in single or somewhere in Monrovia. Some of them can be flown to Great there. Some of them can be flown to Maryland and pass the neck there. That's how we should be doing. But when you talk these things, people feel you're talking it and you just want to talk. We all must guide government. The development that will come to this country will not be for a particular people. Because the development that came to this country way back, it was for particular people today, it's affecting us. Go to St. John Moreau. Where by that area now you can say you can expand the road? Where? No, if that's all look at it, how can we do it? If we are to do it, you know how much it's going to cost us? We still talk about traffic congestion because we don't have the driveway to ease the traffic so easily. There are some other places. We will put a traffic light, and the light, some of them will be working. Some of the areas that are much congested when it comes to traffic or the movement of people, you will see that the lights are having some problem. It's not working. Police officer will have to stay in the middle of the road to direct the traffic. While pedestrians are there, we got the disabled people, we got people who are hopping between vehicles with their children, asking for hand up because they are visually impaired, and all of these things. But you work on every small thing, you won't put it with politics. To the extent when you're even talking about Liberia development now, you and myself, you think when a road, when they get an overhead bridge that will ease the traffic, it will be for Ambassador Nathaniel River? No. We always use it. The one that are here, the one that we came with met, where our parents met when they were born, that they bore us, we here too, we born our own kids. We all stay flat in the same road. We sit on the motorcycle, we sit in commercial vehicles, we sit in the keke, they carry other places, we carry our kids to school, we carry them to the hospital. Those are the roads that we are using. It not belong to a particular group of people. So when you do it, you do it for 3, 4, 5 generations. By the time we go for our central bank commercial, we'll come back, the lines will be open, and we'll take some calls and move to our last talking point. But this is Liberia, and this is the morning ride. Whether you like it or not, Liberia first, Liberia last.
My daughter Kumba, how is the business today? Well, your face, how are you looking so? Like you thinking about something.
And I easy on me. I going through plenty things. So I tell my pay the next day. I'm telling you, all the money can check go tell that my children's school fee, hospital money, rent, my own say small thing and set nothing. I can't do anything good for myself.
Amen.
Then to make matter worse, I try to put small money in lay business to go out of the country. But to find foreign currency, I can just be running around. It's too bad that things how I am stressed.
Yeah. Anything you don't know is bigger than you for true, yeah?
What you mean now, Pachoni?
Kumba, on March 27, 2025, the Central Bank of Liberia launched the National Financial Education Program for people then like you.
The National Financial Education Program.
They finished putting it outside. That is they call launch. And that President Joseph Newman Boaka said launched the program for the whole country.
Okay. So what in the program will do for person like me now?
The program will solve your problem, my daughter.
Tell me something.
The financial education program will help people like you, Kumba, to understand how to take care of your money Google.
Yeah?
Yes. It will show you how to set financial goals, how to budget your money, how to save part of your money after you take pay, how you can turn some of your money around in business for it to grow.
What?
Yo. So after taking pay, you can't be broke again.
That good thing, oh, for Johnny.
Yeah, oh, Makumba. The Central Bank of Liberia will work with plenty other government offices then like Ministry of Education, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Gender and Social Protection, and other groups then like the Liberia Marketing Association to make sure you're the women and girls manage your money Google.
Oh, yeah. That is very good.
Yo. Now, this financial education get many steps.
Tell me about them, Pa Johnny. Tell me.
First, you have to set your financial goals.
What?
This means you must think about where you want to see yourself in the future. Maybe 1 year from now, you won't get plenty of money to be able to take care of all of your problems.
Yeah.
Or you want to be big businesswoman. But you can only reach where you want to see yourself in having more money according to the way you will plan to use your money today.
How that one already work now?
That the next step I will come into. They call it budgeting, meaning planning how to use your money the right way.
Yes, that one that true.
So you budget by making a plan that show how you will use your money. Once you take your pay or you get any money, you have to sit down to put idea together to use your money.
Yeah.
In line with the thing that you need to do for you and your family, and you will still be able to keep some.
It makes sense.
Yes, so when you make your budget, that means you have to stick to it because you plan for everything already.
That's true.
The other important thing, that's saving. Saving means to keep some money somewhere for you to use in future. Then just using all your money soon you take it.
Okay. But this saving you're talking about, ain't that to keep the money in your safe to your house, eh?
One advice, Makumba, do not keep the money in your house or under your mattress. Yes, go to the bank house and open your saving an account. You can open 2 savings.
2 savings?
Yes. You can open 1 saving or account with any mobile phone company. Like that, you carry your money on your phone right in your own hand anywhere you going.
But why if the phone lost now?
Easy. Just go back to the mobile phone company and get your SIM card back with all your money still on it. Yes. Then you could choose to open another saving or account with a bank. Just go to any bank you like and say you want to open saving to keep your money. They will help you open an account.
Okay, but what a benefit in that one?
A bank account has many benefits. Number 1, the bank can put interest on top of your money you keeping with it.
Okay.
And because of that, you can also be able to take loan from the bank where you open your saving. With that loan money, you can make business to grow your money or do other Google things for yourself.
Okay.
And when you take loan from the bank, make sure you're able to pay it back.
Yeah.
At the same time, open your eyeball to all the things that you will agree to on the loan paper. Like when you will pay back, how much you will pay every time, and then the main one, wedding business you're taking the loan money for. And you must understand the interest you will have to pay to. Yeah, after that, you can make a plan to pay back your debt. Manage the debt, Google.
Yeah, it will not be good you take loan, then you're not able to pay it back.
It's not correct like that, sir. Yeah, that digging hole, covering hole thing not correct because you will still be in the hole. What some people do is to make sure they take a loan to put the money into something that brings in more money. They call it investment. So they can be able to pay their debt and be able to save at the same time.
So Google ad here, yeah?
Yes, so then another good thing is to insure your business or your home.
Insurance for my business
my home, my...
So, God forbid, if something bad happen, the insurance company can help you get something bad because you are protected against loss.
No, Johnny, I will go to the financial education program and learn about money matter, insurance,
Yeah, because with insurance, when your property damage or warehouse burn with your goods inside, for example, the insurance will pay.
Oh, so a part of financial education too, eh?
Yes, it is part of the financial education tool to manage risk and protect yourself. Then you know, some business people don't treat their customers very good.
They plenty of...
Fine. So, the last thing the CBL and other Google friends talk about, they say you get right as customer to complain any business house that will not treat you the right way.
Any business house?
Yes, like banks or mobile phone companies. If they not treat you the right way, you must talk it.
Okay.
That's right. And under the financial education program, you listen to me, they will teach you how to complain and how they will hear your complaint. So, Kuma,
thank you plenty, Papa Johnny. I will make sure to be part of the financial education program so I can learn all the good things about money.
This message is from the government of Liberia through the Central Bank of Liberia.
We'd like to say welcome. That's a message there from the Central Bank of Liberia. So it's time now we go to the lines to take few of your calls right now, because you've been listening to us this morning talking about the issue of sustainability or sustainable development. I hope you've been able to follow, and we try to talk this, and take politics and make Liberia. Good morning.
Good morning, my guys. It is Chris Mambo.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, I would greet you because the last time I said that there's a need for honor, but you gotta move from one level to another. So thank you for flagging the issue. When I did sociology, one of my sociology instructor in development said that when you get out of Liberia for some years, you out of this country, and when you come back, you will see your same Liberia, no change. It hurts a lot, WEEKIE.
Sure.
Yeah, and then as you continue to talk, you guys, we have to move on in the shake-ups of our body politics, and then this will affect our national leaders, their minds. But let me just tell you something. When I was a little kid, when I was in Nukutan, I saw the school called Totboha. And I tell you, my brother, the very guy who are performing as legislator, you and myself, they are not better than them. They are not better than us, Elaine. But I will tell you, the guy saw the system, how that school was built. Like I always told people, that if you saw that school, it was like you are in Europe or America. Talk built that institution. Facility were intact. But as a public school teacher, my brother, I can tell the student what I see in your school. The chair you sit on and the blackboard I see, that's all. I see nothing. So keep talking, man. I like you guys, man. I like you guys. It's just that I've been out because I've been at the financial problem.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Because Momo has been a while. That's just, it's about Liberia. We all have to collectively talk, and it could help to shift the thinking of our leaders. What of 9 or tomorrow that they will sit in their own corner, their own little closet, and say, look, I think that when you even sitting with your cabinet ministers and sitting with other officials and sitting with people from the public work, when you're talking about roads, let them be able to lay out to you and tell you, look, Mr. President, the road that we're about to construct, and be asking for durability, how durable, and look, and let them be able to give you timeline when we will, in terms of maintenance, how many years it's going to take us to that we will carry on maintenance work on this road, on this structure. All of these things must come into play when you are planning development. But we can't just be doing it for the political side of it, and it will cost the poor woman who sells bitter ball in red light, waterside, the young man who rides his motorcycle to put food on his table, and pay taxes for some of these things. And at the end of the day, we go back to renovation. 0775 919 919 0880 919 919 are the numbers you can certainly call on this morning to be part of the conversation. We must develop our minds in Liberia, get developed. We cannot just develop our mind politically that this person not from our party, so this person is not serious. But we must develop the mind that we put the country called Liberia first and say, this is Liberia, this is the country, this is where I was born, you know. So we need to place it somewhere. But you want to hear people, oh no, oh, you know, no, the party, the only person. We have to develop the mind. Once the minds are not developed, they're going to cause a problem. The leaders will bring you what you want to see. Because you know, we love flashy things in this country. So they will build places with a pin that's so attractive, build a structure, well designed, but yet are not durable. And we cannot sustain it because at the end of the day, you hear somebody say, oh, that whole thing, you bring it down and do another one. What happens to the first money that you have to put into it? And we continue seeing these things happening in Liberia, and we're just looking at that, we're just looking at that, looking at that, looking at that, looking at that. And come to think about it, the reasons why people are just getting to notice some of these things, just simple, because of poverty. But if the people have jobs, and that's how they've been able to manage their way over a period of time, once the people get jobs, once the people can have food on the table for their families and can go to seek medication, they do not care whether you ride flashy car. They do not care whether you using private jet to go outside or come to Liberia. They do not care which hospital you fly to go to treat yourself. Once they can go to referral hospital or clinic and can be treated, they don't have time for that. So at a particular point in time, when people want to cover up, you see them doing these things. So the people don't, you know, Liberian people are resilient people. Liberian people are not people who love so much. But once you can just tell a man, say you work for $5 and you can get that man $5, he care whether you can steal 1 million. That's not even his concern. All he knows, you can get his money. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Pastor.
Good morning, Emmanuel.
Emmanuel and Clement, only for 72nd community.
Go ahead, sir.
In Pastor Fruit, some of the things we always say there, we say there. We are so embarrassed with the situation. Like for Accra Cross, the suspension of Accra Cross, I personally, I have from the president. Because 3 days ago, before he suspended him, he had just gone there, he awarded him, he gave 2 certificates of the day that he was the first performance. To the place there, then later he had gone by again, he had gone to suspend him. So personally, we are observing the situation. We want to say that I think the president needs to have a goal to go there and see how bad he can observe that situation. But you can't get somebody crazy like, oh, you the do, and then they say, oh, you fail again. So I think the president needs to tell a goal over there to monitor the situation.
All right, thank you. Let's talk to all the callers on the line. Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I remain Peter McCullough, civil as well, and I joined for district now, Montreal County as a group defender. And let me commend every morning you guys come on the radio to bring out fascinating information to the public. But you know, when it comes to the topic of discussion, especially where President Joseph Mapulaka carried on, especially when it comes to asset recovery or corrupt official, quote unquote, to go and
Peter McCullough,
yeah.
I want you to stick into the issue of, we talk about sustainable development from the history of our country. We have seen we have built, but we have not been able to
almost 2 hours.
It's not just for a particular government. So I'm saying, because at the end of the day, some of these things being abandoned because the sustainable aspect of it was never taken into place. We're not talking about asset recovery or this thing. We're talking about sustainable development for Liberia that can be sustained for generation to generation to generation. That we do not compromise the present development, I mean, for the future that we just want to develop today.
Okay, Brooks, thank you very much. You see, in Liberia, especially in a modern democracy, we have two parties. Sorry, the United Party, the innocence.
Sorry, you're still missing the mark. We want you to speak to the issue. Good morning.
Good morning, Wiki.
Yeah, the belated birthday man, Mr. John Smith.
Good morning, Wiki. Good morning. Now I know you'll be there with me, but Wiki said you will come here. I expected you to come. Wiki, you be the calibrate. When the calibrate stay there, you can stay cover you.
Okay.
Wiki, thanks for the program, Nath. Thank you also. As I'm not a young man anymore, I'm an elderly person, and growing up in Monrovia, there were several things we noticed in the 70s when one of the times when Liberia was really growing, rapidly developing. I remember being with the late President Talbot around the College of West Africa School with the late Public Works Minister Gabriel Johnson Tucker and one of the assistant ministers, the deputy minister Lawrence Norman, who is still alive. That was the first time I ever heard of an overhead bridge. President Talbot's plan was to build an overhead bridge coming from Center Street, CWA, going all the way towards the Slipway, and then another one crossing going into Clarendon. But since the demise of President Talbot, it's like nobody has ever seen that. Even the damn President Talbot wanted to put in Botota. Nobody's talking about that. It's like, when a man dies, all his dreams die. And those dreams are not just for him, it's for the country. Those were development.
That's why we're talking. That's why we're talking.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm getting at. When you sit on the old mat, then you plant the new mat, the pattern must remain. But every government will come with its own development agenda. I must applaud President Bweka for looking in some of the directions that previous government has looked in, and now they're moving on. I just hope after this administration, people will not come with their own agenda again, just change everything, because that's the reason why we're going downward. We don't start anything incomplete. Everything is done haphazardly. So Liberians, let us look at that development agenda and go by it. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you this morning. And not just it, and that's why we've been talking over the period of time. This thing, everybody will have maybe his or her side, but we must be able to look at the bigger picture called Liberia. Some of your political leaders will not be around forever. We here today, gone tomorrow. You don't know. Today you accuse everybody of bad-mouthing your party, bad-mouthing your political leader, so you want to get at them. But you fail to understand that you also having children that should be taking care of the country when we're all gone, or probably when we have age and sitting and don't have the kind of strength that we have today. But we must sit and look at things that we were able to properly prepare and we left for the country. We're fighting for party, we're not fighting for the country. The country keep being underdeveloped. One government comes to power, yesterday we just carry on one construction, things that will not last. At the end of the next government can say, we're wrong the place here, and no, we talk to the government, they did not listen, so we have to bring it down. We see these things repeating itself over and over and over and over, and we're still looking where do we have the full stop that we can look positively. So we have to be looking at some of these things. Yesterday when Ellen Johnson said he was in power, she's gone. Out of power, she in a private corner, running her own affair. Former President Georgia, he's also gone out of power. He's in his own corner. being part of the conversation this morning. Thank you very much this morning. Let's talk to other callers. So, you see, that's why we need to look at Liberia. It's the bigger picture. You know, we all want to see the kind of a development that we want for our country, but we must be able to pay the price. We must be able to do it that will be sustainable. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
You're welcome.
How are you doing?
Well,
my name is Mohammed. I'm calling for FBA for Estate Community.
Mohammed, please go ahead.
Okay, we discussed about the past government. You know, government move government, and also we can get blame the president, everything ends in the president. We have seen the representative, we have the senator, and then the residing in this money in country. What they're doing for the people. Everything in my getting on president. We discussing something the rule, send the group living there, okay. We get representative who is down for that. All the country, all the community, all the districts get community. But what they're doing, they're putting that kind of representative. So they need to get the hard president who can be very hard eating and do the people that they say and one president, one person gets the responsibility. Send the road go to my hometown, I will make sure I put water on the road or I kill the road.
Okay, thank you. We don't really need harsh leader. You know, most of the time you hear people say these things, but we don't need harsh leader. It's just that we must be able to respect the law, and what we are projecting when we are setting up anything for Liberia, we have to do it for a long time. That people, generation born and unborn, can see it and benefit from it. It's not just with today. This is something maybe this government can take clue from them. You know, or the next government that comes can take clue that when you are doing some of these projects, that we don't do it just because we were running campaign and we ran a campaign on the basis of these things that we'll do this, we'll do that. So you come, you just want to do it forcibly or hastily, whether it's doable or not. Good morning.
Good morning, WEEKIE Bros.
Good morning.
Thank you for the topic this morning. I'm Fowler Janji calling for Kimberley.
You're welcome.
Yes, one of the things that we're talking about, you're looking for a job. You know that most of the road they build and lonely road, people now already get food to eat. They let that places, they open people food get it broken.
Yes.
They already get food to eat. Those drainages that they say they even won't face it. That's why when lawyers are facing when they get ready to blast at their own level, they say they may not know how to talk to most of the ministers. They put them into office and instead of that the profit already get where our Liberian people. People, president they will appoint you. You say you want job to do. Then the president will tell you how to do the job. The people they are not creative, they don't want to do anything.
Yeah, they are short-sighted.
In power, instead of you doing the right thing, the way and pleasure of the president will be pleased, you doing your own thing. Every day, just don't on the contrary. I don't know what is happening in this country. Even the president, no, something like what's up we are telling you, Ghana. The woman said, even for military job when they get rid of you. You fought it to protect your character because to them tomorrow you move for your children's face to come down. But Liberia, it's all about eating the money. They don't want to do the right thing. When other people say, to talking and say the people looking for a job, they are left, they say people. So the people in their own country, they want to tell me what students not going right, they shouldn't express it. They will keep silent, everybody will keep silent. Then I'm taking for the show, yeah, my brother.
We will keep talking whether they like it or not. Say, tell you all our volunteer what we're doing. Good morning.
Good morning to my two great ambassadors.
I'm going to do volunteer work.
Yes,
Pastor Moses Sayo.
Calling from the Ghana Black Day, the Kosovo community, so green. You know, like they just placed in, you people always want to see this country better. And that is why we will always pray that God will continue.
And when the country get better, you might even somebody will enjoy and more than all that shopping for it.
Exactly. I don't know if some of them actually understand the agenda of you people. Like you people are pushing for a political party. If this country get better, and for every one of us, our children born or unborn. But I don't see how other people just see it. Maybe one media will tell them, sit down, praise, sing praise, hold it to one institution, you know, but make you better in the whole country. No one is better than you. No one is better than this country. That what some of us fail to understand. There is no politician that is better than this country, because you know what? They will die and they will be buried, and then the country will still remain. Your institution, God forbid, may be there today because of one individual. Without him or without she, the institution cannot live on. So when he or she has gone today, the institution is there. Labrador still remain.
Thank you.
Labradorians, let us unite and push the agenda of this country.
Okay, thank you, Pastor Mo. You see, we want to see Liberia develop, but we are not projecting development with sustainability that lasts. That when you say, yes, look at the number of years the Statue of Liberty been in America. Generation have come and gone. They still generating huge sum of money. Tourists, visitors going there, getting huge sum of money. Go to Ghana and Kwame Nkrumah Square, other places. Because when they were building those things, when they were putting those things down, they did not put it down because it was something that would just suit certain people at the time. But they started to look at the future long.
Sure.
So it's been sustained for years, for decades. And the mistake we keep making in this country,
because those folks who erected those structures, they thought solely and wholly about the future.
Yeah.
They said not about today. But let me make a mark that generation will come and see. Even when I'm gone, they will read history and say, I was the one behind this.
Yeah.
We built a road. For 6 years, 10 years, they wouldn't even know who built the road, got a road. We have more than 2 to 3 repairs on the road.
Yes.
Because they took all the money, they just brought substandard materials.
And the mistake we can always make in this country is we always forgetting to know that even to come on this earth, you need a help from Him. That people in the delivery room or whatsoever will have to bring you food. Even to go to the graves that people can carry you again. When you die, so when you think, you just think about yourself or you think about one political party, these are how some of the things can happen. You know, we have not been able to get used to the truth about love in this country. It causing problem. I was following the social media over the weekend. And there are 2 things we'll talk about before we even look. The campaign chairman in 2023, or the spokesperson in 2023 of the CDC campaign, Kasiro Kanye Bagbala, he's receiving largest insults from even people from his party for a comment, for a post. And he even gone back and have posted. I will read some of the posts and it will surprise you. Kanye Bagbala, after he spoke on this issue of the party, they should see the party or the partisans should see themselves beyond the picture of George Weah, or former President George Weah, because there are people who are much more prepared now than before. Oh, there were comments all on that late post that, and he was talking about whether the party, sacrificed Fala for Kofa. He had received all other latches. And a few years back, he had some posts. I was looking at some of the posts. He said, being general does not justify being abusive. Because somebody sees some posts, they kind, but they are dictator.
Sure.
This, after he post, he wrote, he said, as bona fide sedition and in my own name, if when JB does what is right for Liberia, I will vigorously acknowledge it. May the insult continue. You see here? This is why he wrote. He said, as bona fide sedition and in my own name, if JMB, when JMB does what is right for Liberia, he said, when the president does what is right for Liberia, he said, I will vigorously acknowledge it. I will say, may the insult continue. And all of these things. And the last time, he wrote again on the 28th, after the insults were coming to him. He said, the people now say, you come in join UP. He wrote in a typical American, because, he said, what people about to say about it, he said, the people now can say, you join UP. Oh, me, and he wrote, I am a sedition and will remain a sedition. But anytime GMB correct our mistakes, I will talk it. Why people don't love to hear the kind of things? And all these things will help to make your party much stronger, better, make like in the overall, like you're better, that we will have people who can look in the faces of the leader, regardless of the time and condition, and say, look, we have to get this thing right. We have to get this thing right. And you see, there are folks who supported the government that they brought to power. Councillor Tewan Gonglo, also frowning at this government. He's one of the presidents who supported the government to come to power. He gave them the support in the second round because he didn't make it.
But he also mentioned about lavish spending.
Sure, yeah, that's what he said.
Government spending a lot of.
Even to the extent the NPC political leader, Simon Freeman, also have joined voices that also latching at the government too, and for wasteful expenditures. These are things that we all must be able to look in the eyes of the government and say, look, you have to prioritize the need of the people. So because they men supported the Joseph Yomaleb government to come to power, so because he supported it, he should remain taciturn, full hands, and just watch government, even if the government, because Councillor Gonglo is in the know that any failure from this government, he cannot divorce himself from it. Because he was one of those who persons brought this government to power. He lended his support, he talked to his people, people listen to him, people follow him. So today, and among the candidates, they were the best that he chose that can deliver. So any failure, he will have a share of the pie. So to avoid it is to start the early warning that people do not forget about themselves and go on holiday. We are not real and truthful to ourselves. When we support one institution, we support individual, we don't see nothing wrong with that. That's why we were talking about earlier sustainable development. We just build individual, we don't build institutions. We don't institutionalize most of our political structure. You get one person who is the chief financier. When he's not around, how can you be sitting and thinking and see a political party that cannot exist in the absence of this person? Who does that? What sort of thinking is that? What sort of thinking is that? Come to think about it. What Nathaniel Va is here, or Wiggy Brooks is here, or tomorrow the Gonku remains.
Sure.
This institution we have to run. This institution will not crumble because I left. Because the Ambassador Va left. No, there are other folks who will come, probably will even do far better than we are doing today.
Because the example
we must be able to live with those realities. We must be able to live with those realities. And that's why, of course, like the problem that we see within today. Because when we see people in certain position, we think that position belongs to that person forever, and that person, whatever he or she leaves, meaning it ceases to exist, it don't function the way. How can we look at a whole country, we think that the existence of one person or two person, that's why the country, it is what it is. If then people go, like we no longer exist. That's how we have managed to destroy Liberia. That when you're in, you cannot respectfully speak your mind, you cannot respectfully disagree. Doing it is a problem. I was looking at some things on the social media again. Yesterday, the former president, Madam Broad, and Madam Sawyer, they were in service. People try to say, ALC, the woman, the people have been living together for I don't know how long. These people are people who are good family people or friends for a long period of time, and that the church they will go to. But you still want to, you carry the thing, you carry politics in the church again. Because you saw the people in service at First Church, meaning that's something that Ellen Johnson said, he's so vexed, she will see, she will dump the UP government. The people went to church. This young man is speaking his mind, and today he receiving a whole lot of insult only because he spoke his mind or he wrote something, and they see him as a problem. And he's telling you that he remain a sedition. But whenever the current government correct the mistakes that they had yesterday, he will say it, and you can continue with the insults. That's what he said, and that's what we see people doing. Our actions and attitude have treated this country in a bad form and manner. That's why you see today we're struggling to just have it. Some of the little things that will be fixed yesterday, see the kind of money we're putting in to fix it. Because we close our eyes on it. We saw it yesterday, that was not important. But it appeared little to us yesterday. And today, it is the deep problem. That people come to the government supported Ambassador Barker, you just see them fold your hands.
The cities go the way it's going. Yeah. Whereas because of the support that others were able to follow.
He don't need to say anything. Simon Freeman also voicing the same thing. The lavish spending, wasteful expenditure. He talk about the issue of private jet as well. But this guy divided view that you follow the ANC boss here. He who comes from such a corporate world, he will understand what in some of the route, connecting flight, the delay, all of these things, especially time goes zooming. As somebody who were able to control fleets of plane, and there are places you will have to use private jet. So, but the reasons why, and a lot of folks agree with him, the reasons why some people are complaining about these things, the kind of money government spending on vehicles, government spending, the kind of a huge salary. He was talking about, Simon Freeman talking about the salary of our lawmakers. Those things been there long, and we've been talking about those things. You see, the reason why the people will talk these things, once the political goals become problem or the basic social services are not met. If you were in government or somewhere and you work for $5, they pay your father on time, every time. Even if the man steals $2 million and you score your $5 that you work for earnestly, in time to feed your family, you don't even care. You will not, and that's how you see today we are protecting perceived or alleged criminals, because we protect them. When they call for investigation, that somebody told you step it on.
Sure.
You just got to let it go. You just got to, Liberia is the biggest picture. Liberians, some of you, your hopes were dashed yesterday after all of what you thought you put in for your party. Whether for the NPP days, for the Unity Party days, the CDC days, and now even the Unity Party. There are folks in the Unity Party who are seriously protesting. That some of the jobs have gone to opposition who, as far as concerned, they did not contribute anything to the party. But these were people who were criticizing. No, not everything you fight for you will enjoy. Sometimes other people, not one political party able to employ all of our partisans or supporters. Those people are Liberians.
It's impossible.
Those people are Liberians. Why it is true that they get a party, they suffer, sometimes some of them will deserve it whatsoever. But at times, when you lack the knowledge and technical know-how in a particular area, and the party can produce, a Liberian man will go there, whether he comes from party A, party B, you have to face that reality and live with it. That's just normal. Oh, don't let to hear the truth. While being bold and saying the truth, you'll be seen as enemy in Liberia. But you want Liberia to get developed. You will spend 10, 15 million on one road. Soon the next government can say they want to expand the road, they claim they create everything from there. They dump it one side. They put it there. The next government will kind of go, they take everything from there. We got street lights that can come on. We got traffic lights that are just there, that should be helping to enhance the work of the police, but some of them not functioning. So the officers will stay in the middle of the road to try to direct the traffic and all of these things. Because some of these things are not durable. We did it because it was based on politics. But things that you want to show to the people that this person did not do, I can do it. But you're doing it, you're not doing it that it can be sustained. That even when you go on tomorrow, the next government will come, will not be putting priority on a head like finding street lights, finding traffic lights, because we will already have some that are existing. So these are some of the problems we are having in this country. The real issues are not talked about. The real issue when talked about, you turn to be the wicked man, the bad man who want to undermine the development of the country, or you're against. When we want to get something, those are some things you can do quick impact project with. But there are some things you have to do it. Look at some of the roads that we got that were constructed years back. Look at the Pambagida Highway. You look at the quota, you still see the richness. Some of the, even though they say getting 1 or 2 problems down, but if you look at the length of time, that road, we can still do it. How will we do? Look at some of the roads today that you going on the RIA highway. You know, where you got the center drainage that divide the 2 lanes, two so. Somebody they're breaking it down again and recently, what was the cost that you were doing it, that you slip off? The one that you destroying, you're not putting it back. And thousands of dollars, millions of dollars from taxpayer, from our international partners are used. So government need to sit, opposition in waiting, which is government in waiting, and you sit and you get a proper developmental plan that will not compromise the future. Because this is where we always find ourselves being caught up into this thing. We always. Look at the pipes in some places that are changing to supply water. Those people who did everything, just imagine from that time up to this time, some of the pipes are still supplying water, though because of certain conditions, how long. But you can see that some of the things that they did way back, they did it for a sustainable period of time. That today, in modern Asian time, we cannot use those things. That's how people carry on development. There are some things no longer in use. So you can bring it, because you say like, bro, I tell you what country, you put it there, and then at the end of the day, it don't function. And we start having problems, then you say we gotta go bring the modern one, we gotta take the one from there. So you do it, you plan properly, you do it, and you don't do it for a particular group of people, you don't do it for a particular regime. You do it for the country, because tomorrow, you yourself could be out of power tomorrow. And when the water is not pumping at your homes, because you were dead and the water supply was so easy going to your home because you were in that position, you didn't feel anything, and your thought was not with those who could not afford to have running water to drink pure water. They start then, and you find people who want to go and fight for you. Oh, they say to the former minister or the former president or the former mayor, the former superintendent, the water can go and say they close the main valve. You try to preempt. So we need to have Liberia on the radar for proper development. And this is why Seymour Freeman said, he said, the president's constant use of private jets, as well as the lucrative salary of government officials, especially those in the legislature, are deficits that hinder the country's growth and development. Yes. Some of the money that we pay people in this country serve as severe hindrance to some of our development. Let's talk to some of the callers on the line this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Akwi.
Thank you for the exclusive recognition. WEEKIE, let me applaud you enough for the talking point this morning, especially when you speak to the aspect of durability. We have this mindset in this country, especially those that we elect into power. You know, they don't go with the mindset of developing Liberia or turn out development that will be sustainable. But both of those leaders that we elect, their only concern is not about the future of Liberia, but it is about the next election, which is bad. If you are a leader and your only focus is to carry on 4G development because you are pretty concerned of being re-elected, then it means you will carry out those developments that will not work. And we can any development or project that is being carried out on the 4G scene, it is very, very, terrible to the growth and development of the country, because if that development or that project is not durable, the next government that will come and either find that government carrying out repair or maybe trying to go back and refix what you did. And this will cost the country a lot. Because if you will fix something in terms of, durability that will carry the country for the next 20 or 25 years, any government that will come, you will use that money that you're supposed to use for repair or other things that will benefit the life of the people.
Yeah, thank you, Akwe. That's true. Good morning. Go. Let's talk to other callers. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Frank Lincoln calling from the four to be specific.
You're welcome, Chief.
Yeah. So thank you for the beautiful show this morning. We came out from District 6 Nima County. The road are leading from Gray all the way to Hitmuya. That road, people that live towards and all those small villages, they believe in what agriculture. Let me tell you, those plenty and fellow that you see on Kubacho feet, happening. And anybody that bring up Kubacho village, Malay and all those areas, the possibility claiming their plenty to bring adequate, to bring it to staff, to sustain themselves. But because of low connectivity, the people will suffer from staff, their cost, their plenty will get rapid on the road. So I am building to the one, especially to our representative, Donald Bickham. Please listen to me well. That road is very, very important. The people now want thousands of dollars from government, they just believe in your money. But that road is very bad. It is going to even both ways. There's a little side they call both ways. The people that they're even you put Kasawa down, that they will go by a 6 years, they're the same two the last only. So I'm begging someone to get the quota I'm already writing in credit there. So please try to government use that legislative power and need to convince government to carry road, to that part of Liberia.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk to other callers. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, WEEKIE. Good morning to your fellow esteemed co-hosts.
You're welcome.
Yeah, for the recognition, I am Pastor Command. I just join you with this program under the canopy of the Rescue Missionary.
You're welcome, Chief.
Yeah, you can thank you so much for such a stimulative talking points. First, they have to do with durability when it comes to public budget. I think it's something law in contemporary development processes that there should always be value for money.
Sure.
Yeah, there's always value for money, most especially when it relates to public project that will benefit the public. You are the echelon, or you are supervising such process should ensure that this project, the need assessment, carry on proper need assessment, do the movement when it comes to project proposal. The people should first embrace the project, need assessment, and from there you grab a budget that in line with the project. You can inflate the amount in the budget, then they steal it from the people. So all the years, over time we have been witnessing in our country. Since Adimana said it, I've been following politics of our governing process. Most of we have been seeing projects where people were a whooping sum of money were expended. When we do your background check, you'll come to the realization that the actual amount paid, those who support by the project paying the expenditure you put near 7 you realize that particular amount was inflated simply because of selfish gain. So as we move forward, we want to caution our current public officials that as a paper already started fighting corruption. Our development specialist, President Joseph Waka. We ask all officials to follow suit because they got a whole added a state that that state leader and you follow their leaders. Now you already started the ball rolling. So ask all officials to please follow suit.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk to this caller. Good morning. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm almost calling from Papa Pim.
Your question I'm going to ask the man. You see?
They're not people in Temple West somewhere. I can't go ever. I don't want problem to cool. So if I go somewhere, you carry me there. I don't want to respond to that. Let's go ahead.
Bring people that are just trying to good morning.
Why are you working? Where are you working? Does somebody carry you there?
I still remain Prince Mekawea Square, 4043 4. No, and when you talk about durability, when it comes to development, connecting roads, because most of those roads was built by the past government. Even for that road, I don't know what is happening, my brother. Millions of dollars went on that road. But now, what team getting to ready to go all the way up when I'm turning point? That road is practice. I don't know. So I'm appealing to the government. If you want to carry on road connectivity, it costs for us to, we will go and make the road better. Our incoming generation, let them do it, do it in a way that it will stay along with us. You make mention about Gina Road. No one said that's all I need born. You see how that road is doable, although it's getting smaller. But almost decades of years back. So I'm appealing to the government also to give it.
Okay, thank you. Let me take this final privilege caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning again. It's Chris Morrow.
Chris, go ahead.
Let me just say that, like what you said for the economy, I suggested, it's the same thing to be on my mind. We can't leave undeveloped. So if Liberia should develop, I think that there's a need of cutting the salary down. Because millions of dollars from the government official money can develop the country every year. If we allot, we can develop our country and the process can go on every year. And take, for instance, the ministerial complex. That was something like less than 100 million, which I think was 60 million. So if we want to see the skyscrapers and other things like the Ghana is doing, we can. But let me tell you one if this country, if Serbia can surpass the country, Guinea can surpass the country, I think I'll change my nationality. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We have to go home this morning. Many thanks to all of you for being part of the conversation. It was wonderful having you guys joining us and making Liberia to what we all want to see Liberia. So this is for the betterment of our country, not for us, but for all of us, generation born and unborn. Until then, I'm WEEKIE Brooks.
And I'm Nathaniel Val.
Many thanks to the man Nicholas Backley, who's been behind the camera this morning. Thank you for always watching and following us. Until then, have a wonderful day.
They know that you're lawful. Yeah. Let me tell you, what we're doing so they follow all. Yeah, they follow all. They know that you're lawful. Yeah.
Security Council gives you the recognition by other states out of over 190 that indeed you may be little, but you play a crucial role in world politics. So it is significant for us not only internationally or globally, but domestically it is something worth planning. I think it's more than collective. Why should we now have had everybody on board? It's collective, and everyone will join in the celebration.
We started to work with the Ministry of Corporate Works that brings a market approach to the community of simply going all over Chinatown. We're working with partners abroad, the GAP Fund, which trying to secure this status so that we can look at how we can clean up that waterway and move out with it, so that waterfront will be clean. It's one of our short-term visions that we have. It's important for people to do that. The Montreal City Police, there's been a number of good work the Montreal City Police has been doing. There's also been challenges, we know, and we want to tell the police, the public, that wherever complaints are, we're hoping to look into it. We got a number of complaints. We're looked into, a number of them being suspended, a number of people, them will be charged in the court for a number of issues. We want the public to know that we're not backing down on it. While it's true, we praise them because there's good work done. We also stand ready to look into the other issues. It's not going to be a perfect fix immediate, but it's important to know that some things I think we have going on.
So today, we placed on the floor of the Liberian Senate for this passage an act to create the National Sports Fund of Liberia. This bill seeks to satisfy the question of financial impotency with respect to sports in Liberia and sports as a whole. We are seeking to create a fund that will cater directly to sports development, infrastructure, administration, etc. What actually we are trying to avoid is this issue of Liberia not having money to honor her local national obligations.